Hello, everyone, and welcome to this stream of GitGud EU. I'm here with Rudy yet again. We're jumping across the pond. We were here on NA last Friday, but now we're casting our brothers across the pond, and we're here 7-7 Esports versus Curious Cats in the Intermediate EU division. How are you doing today, Rudy?
I'm doing good. On Friday we were in North America, our homeland, and I gotta say it was a ride. We had some wacky games that made me question my very own sanity. So I feel comfortable coming back to EU. Hopefully these people won't be running, Orisa Zarya on King's Row and giving me an absolute heart attack. That's what I'm really hoping for today.
Well, that's definitely the hope that we don't have a heart attack on stream. But we do have both of these players. We do have a ringer from one of these teams, I believe. So we're not seeing the full lineup of Curious Cats today. But we're not seeing them in the lineup screen. But looking at both of these squads, one team is really opting for a really pseudo dive composition with the Wrecking Ball Diva, which is going to be Curious Cats. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, on Mr. Vince's on the Curious Cats team sheet, it has Mr. Vince's who is the main tank for Curious Cats. It has his most played hero as Wrecking Ball, which Wrecking Ball compositions sort of tend to be not very played in kind of the lower ranks because it is a composition that requires a lot of coordination between your Wrecking Ball and your DPS players. And also, if you're playing the Zenyatta, obviously you got to harmonize with their Discord orbs. So it is harder for teams of a lower rank to play, but it's not impossible. And if you play it right, the sort of Wrecking Ball poke kind of style with like either a Pharah or Tracer or Sombra really is one of the best compositions in Overwatch. We see this at the pro level. So if Curious Cast is able to replicate this composition, they could be a very deadly force.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. But on the other side of things, the side of 777 Esports like to run that traditional brawl. And this is going to be a very big clashing of styles matchup. If we're seeing one team run just bog standard brawl with Cowboy and May, and then the other team opting to go with this wacky comp of Ball Diva and all these other with the Pharah and the Sombra. But we're starting out on Lijiang Tower. And speaking of Lijiang Tower, this fits perfectly into the Curious Cats composition.
Yeah, but I would also say that a lot of the maps on Lijiang do favor also the brawl as well. If you want to play it with something like a Symmetra, I mean Symmetra and like Junkrat and Mei are just so powerful on this map. And if you have Cowboy out to deal with like a Pharah or a Tracer that's trying to get out your backline, you can't like Brawl is very capable of just countering the ball composition if the ball composition can't get coordinated enough. Like I said, it's all about that coordination from Curious Cats, and the fact that they're playing with a ringer is might hurt them in the long run if they want to run this poke style.
Yeah, definitely. As we head into game
Yeah,
now, and we look
Sifty is
at
going to
these,
be the sub.
yeah. So Sifty is the sub. They're not going to have Muvaro in for their competition. He normally runs the Diva. But right now, we're seeing completely different. But it's we still got 20 seconds left for them to figure out their full
Yeah,
composition
they're
here.
warming up. Imri's just on the bastion doing that left click shenanigans. Ifrit's probably zooming all around the spawn room with that Genji dash. Looks like 7-7 is probably going to be sticking with this Winston rush they have going on. Actually, both teams are opting for the Winston rush with the Moira Lucio.
Which is really interesting. 7-7 Esports is definitely going to have we're actually just going to see a mirror matchup. They're going to get into this fight very quickly to each other as both teams are looking for this first pick in the fight. Both teams trying to get that key hack, but Oak is going to start it off with a massive pick on the Mr. Vince. That should bode very well for the side of 7-7 Esports. as they need to get these final kills. They've already got the main tank down, but it's already looking good as the rest of Curious Cats are backing off, waiting for Mr. Vince to come back.
Phantom was able to get away with so much, he was putting on so much pressure on Curious Cats there. I mean, just look at the ult charge difference between him and Mr. Vince. He's almost to a primal. That is insanely good. I mean, that is insanely good for a first fight, and they managed to cap this point.
Yeah, well, they're now going into this, and like you said, Phantom is going to have this primal rage very soon now. Already built up to it, but it's not going to matter as Ibsen going to get Mr. Vince out yet again. The main tank going down second, first in both of these two first team fights. Oak getting in and the kills as well, and it's going to be another team fight win for the side of 777 Esports.
Man, that's really a best case scenario right there. You didn't even need to pop the primal. All you had to do was use the coalescence, and you even get the stagger out onto Sipsty. They're forced to go back to spawn and give up their ult charge in order to switch back onto the D.Va in full form. And so now 7-7 has a clear ult advantage. They might not even need to use this EMP, but they probably will up to.
They're definitely going to use it, and they get 5 down, and it's already going in their favor as we get a remake kill in the mix of it all. And oh my goodness, another easy team fight win as Oak putting in so much damage for the side of 777 Esports.
Yeah, really the best possible start that you could have asked for. Now on the side of Curious Cats, you will have the EMP available for them, which could be actually countered by the beat from Jammers. They haven't used it yet, but if Ifrit's EMP is good, it will allow them to at least contest, which they honestly haven't been able to do so far.
Yeah, well, there goes the EMP out. They're going to get 4 with it, but the beat is there from Jammers to save the rest of their team. The Death Blossom is out as well. Not going to get any value, but Phantom on the monkey going super angry. Going to get Senpai off the side of the map, and it's going so much in favor of 777 Esports right now. They've got all the kills necessary to win out round 1. Phantom just putting in so much work with the Tesla cannon, and in the end, no one can touch as 777 Esports take our round 1.
That might have been a bit too early from Ifrit on the EMP. He did manage to catch 4 players. There wasn't a huge amount of follow-up. However, I just think that was the perfect example of how to play this mirror matchup. You know, you got the ult cycling with the coalescence, the EMP, the primal, everything on point, beat ready for the EMP. That was just a textbook example right there. And you can even see from these eliminations how much work Phantom was putting in on that Winston.
Yeah, it's not even just the eliminations, especially the final blows. You don't normally see that with Winston getting all as many final blows as we saw Phantom get. And now, but we're switching completely different compositions. We're doing the Ryan mirror matchup now.
Yeah, Ryan with the Junkrat and the Symmetra. This is a very chaotic composition, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Vince goes down early.
Vince going down early yet again is a tune that has been sung so far throughout this series, and it's already gonna bode an easy fight win. You can't push into this composition that 777 Esports are running without the Reinhardt.
Looks like they'll be able to recontest before the point opens up. However, good disengagement from them, and so now both teams are just circling around the point. Vince is so low, the immortality field has to be used.
Yeah, the immortality field already being used in this fight, and it's gonna mean Kilometer is gonna get the pick on the Emery in this fight already as the Amp Matrix is out from the side of 77 Esports. But it's still looking good for both squads here, but just as I say that, it's looking more and more likely that 777 Esports are gonna be able to win this out, but they haven't got the capture yet.
That wasn't totally awful for Cats. They get the recontest. You know, the point barely flips for 7-7. Curious, and they managed to, you know, use up 777's window. So they won't have that available to them. They could possibly use this as an early entry ultimate just to get onto the point, which is exactly what happens.
Yeah, and Matrix is out in the shatter. Gonna only connect to Sipsty, but it could be enough. Is Oak as well with the turrets are gonna be able to get out Samantha with, oh my god, Ibsen with a 3K tire. You didn't have to do that. You already won that fight in the stagger. coming out on the Zenpai is going to be massive. This is going to get them up to at least 40% now.
Yeah, that stagger almost offsets the fact that such an important ultimate was used by Ibsen, because it's going to burn off more time. It's going to put Curious Cats in more of a situation where they want to hurry. They are going to have both wall and tire available. Both are very good at at least claiming space.
Yeah, but there goes the wall out from Ifrit. They almost get the capture percentage. We're looking for Emery. Get this tire off. Get a couple key targets. There goes the tire out. But the beat is right there from Jammers, looking to get someone. Nothing doing, but they do get Leah. But Emery goes down with the trade, and that does not matter. However, Curious Cats have got all the kills necessary. Kilometers is just on point, the stagger, but they do need to kill him before they get any farther capture percentage.
Yeah, I mean, Imri was probably screaming at the top of his lungs, kill Lamp, please, I want to get something with this tire. Thankfully, his team manages to follow up with that, and beat kind of wasted by Jammers there, to be honest with you. They wasn't able to counteract the tire.
Windows mirroring on both sides. Sipsty using that self-destruct to no avail. Both teams now using this self-destruct and not getting killed is the Samito on the Lucio, who just used beat right at the right time. But still, they need to push into this opposition as Phantom is so low. Everywhere damage, which way? Mr. Vince is going to get that first pick onto Phantom, which is going to be huge. And they've got these kills necessary. Mr. Vince with 2. They should win this fight out, but they do use a wall. Does Oak trying to stave off any sort of more damage. They do get the D-Mech onto Sipsty. The Shatter coming out, going to get down 2. But that's going to change it in favor of still 777. Esports have got these kills in their favor. The Rip Tire out from Iveson, but it's going to get a pick by the opposing Junkrat, but it's not going to matter. They go down right after that. It's still anyone's game, but it's still looking more and more likely that the side of 777 are going to be able to capture it over. They've got these picks necessary. Phantom is just going to be swinging this hammer, getting pick after pick. They do and finally get the pick and picks necessary and flip it over to their favor.
Despite the fact that Leah went down so early in that fight, I think the real determination of the winner was Oak just staying alive, being able to charge that Symmetra beam. If your Symmetra or if the enemy Symmetra is left uncontested, they are just gonna pump in damage for you. Well, okay.
And I think they might have been going for a cheap teleport trap, but Kilometer's gonna pay for it with his life. The big shatter coming out from Phantom, but the beat is there to save the rest of the squad. It's now up to 99%, but it's not gonna matter for Iveson, who's already got 2 picks in this fight. Oh my goodness, I think it's done it. But the self-destruct is out, gets rid of the immortality field. They're trying to as hard as they can. As Iveson with another tire, gonna get, oh my goodness, he gets 2. Wow, what a nice rip tire coming out from Iveson. The stall characters are back for Curious Cats. They've already got Phantom out of this fight. They just need to get a couple more picks. But the Symmetra wall is up, trying to mitigate as much damage as possible, but another pick going in favor for Ifrit. This could be what they need, the beginning of the flip for Curious Cats, but everyone is now back for both sides, and it's looking more and more likely for 777 to pull it out. The Amp Matrix gets no real value, no picks coming from it, but the Shatter needs to be massive from Phantom. It does get Senpai, but oh my goodness, Ifrit with a 2K Pulse Bomb. This could have just turned it way in favor with another pick from Ifrit. But just as I say that, kills going in favor of 777 as they do get the flip.
They get
for
the flip?
Curious Cats.
Okay, well, they're gonna get the flip, but there's only Vince on point. He does have the mines, but honestly, if Moira doesn't touch here, yeah, they're not gonna be able to recontest. And with only Sips T able to contest the point, I mean, they actually still might have a chance. But no, nope, it's not gonna happen. That was such an insanely a long fight. It was even hard to disseminate what happened, despite the whatever that play was from the off tank of 7-7. It eventually it goes in their favor.
Yeah.
Oh, this post bomb actually almost turned things around, but unfortunately the just Phantom on that Reinhardt was able to stay alive and just continue to put in a lot of damage.
Yeah, which is very unfortunate. A nice 3K coming in from Efreet, but in the end, you need to kill that Reinhardt if you are Curious Cats, because the team center is based on that Reinhardt, and we do have Phantom's stats for that round if we can pull it up. But and I would love to see how many kills that gut man had on that tank role. He did so much work, and we see, oh, it's just night and day. Look
Ooh-wee.
at that.
Yeah, 22 eliminations. Clearly on the side of Curious Cats, it was the DPS that were putting in most of the work, but Phantom decided to take matters into his own hands in terms of getting his team's picks. I mean, 11 final blows too. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, not too shabby at all. And then we're gonna be heading into a hybrid map is going to be next. The pool is Nimbani, Kings, and Eichenwald. If you are the side of Curious Cats, what are you picking here?
Well, Curious Cats was running these sort of rush style compositions for that first map. I always like to say that your performances on the first map don't matter because I have casted games in which the team has just looked completely lost on a composition for map number 1, and then all of a sudden for maps 2, 3 onward, they just look completely rejuvenated. It is kind of that control effect where you might just be bad on control, but really good when it comes to more objective based maps like hybrid and escorts. So they could continue to play the rush, in which case you do pick kings. But if you want to go for more varied compositions like dive or wrecking ball or anything like that, you would definitely go for a Numbani or an Eichenwald. I would say, especially
Yeah,
for like wrecking ball stuff, Eichenwald is pretty solid when it comes to that because you got a lot of high ground. There's a lot of places to kind of like dive onto your opponents who are on the lower ground as well. And you could even
yeah,
play something like bunker.
yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. We do have the map pick in from the teams. It is going to be Kings Row, so we kind of probably see that Ryan matchup yet again from both of these squads.
You mean no Orisa Zarya, right? Because that'll
Yeah,
actually
Arisa Zara,
just
right?
destroy me mentally speaking. It's so early in the morning for me. I don't think I can handle it. I'll need to lie down, go back to sleep.
Yeah. Hopefully we won't see any more Arisa Zarias from teams. We're gonna be, but realistically speaking, we're probably going to be seeing that Ryan matchup, the brawl matchup that we saw on Control Center there.
Yeah, in which case, this sub, this ringer off tank might really be hurting. Um, Curious Cats in the long run, like we predicted, might happen, but we'll still have to wait and see. It does say that Sips T is on the bench. He's not a ringer. Like I thought he was actually. He's actually just a sub for
He's
the
a ringer.
team. So he does actually play with the team. So there's probably will be that synergy with them, but oh no, he is a ringer.
Yeah,
Oh
he
no,
is in.
he is a ringer. He was just on the team sheet, so
Yeah,
I just
we.
assumed. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No more assumptions from me.
yeah. Well, we put him on there just so we could remember that he's a ringer.
I like his
But we're
pronunciation. Actually, somebody just put his name and put a question mark, so it's name Sips T, and then the pronunciation is Sips T.
but yeah, we do have no real swaps coming in from either of these squads. They're going to be sticking out with these both of these comps or both of these teams. Going to be sticking with the players that they were running on round one, going into Kings Row. It'll be really interesting to see. We do have 777 on attack, so we're going to be seeing a switching of sides. So, what we got to expect 777 to come out swinging like they did with a Phantom on that Reinhardt.
Yeah, for sure. If they can once again get a lot of value out of him, maybe they want to continue playing that Symmetra style. If not, it's not needed for this map in particular. You can get away with playing other heroes like May, Reaper, Cowboy, if you even want to go that route. It'll be interesting to see what they have going for them, and it looks like for defense at least, Curious is actually going to go with more of a bunker composition with Vince on the Orisa, which means that they're going to be looking for their DPS to really put in the damage this time around. Imri going to be on that Pharah,
Nope.
Ifrit on the Ashe. We are going to see a pause here, but in the meantime, I mean, Imri and Ifrit are really going to be the cornerstones of this composition. They're, 7-7 probably going to come out with some sort of rush they're predicting, so it's going to be their job to really keep them from advancing too far, deal damage, and then Imri can kind of, both of them can kind of get targets down low and then find those final blows when they're able to.
Yeah, it's gonna be really important for the side of Curious Cats' DPS, like you were saying, to get those first picks in those fights, because they don't have that Reinhardt that can do just so much damage up close and personal. Definitely look for the Pharah to get those first picks specifically with the with that halt ability as well. It's gonna be so much value with the dynamite as well.
Yeah, definitely. 7-7 probably looks like they are going to be coming out on Rush just based on the sort of niche heroes that they were picking from the start. So if that does happen, then Curious is going to be able to sort of pepper in damage whenever they see fit. I'm especially looking for stuff from Imri on that Pharah, because it is kind of, as a Pharah on King's Row, you are kind of working with less sight lines, because you always have to kind of deal with the opponent being able to switch on the spot, so they can easily just switch to a Widowmaker and even just snipe from spawn. So you are going to be working at sort of a disadvantage playing on King's Row, but I've seen teams make it work beautifully in the past, so I have no doubt that he'll be able to come up with a solution there.
Yeah, we're still seeing. Oh, right now we're seeing a really interesting decision from 777 Esports. They're opting for a Hanzo. Just as I say that, they're not gonna. They're just gonna be running a straight brawl composition. I thought they were gonna be running a Pharah, but no, we're gonna be seeing just this bog standard Hanzo May here coming from 777 Esports.
Yeah, this would be really good actually against the kind of rush mirror composition. Man, look at the aggression coming out from them. They're immediately going up to the high ground where the Orisa is.
Yeah, as they're just pushing this objective really quickly, as Jammers is gonna get Mr. Vince. There's a massive anti coming in from Zenpai though, as Ifrit gets a big dynamite, 2 kills with that dynamite, as that's gonna go to the favor of Curious Cats. But just as I say that, Oak gets out Samato, and they're gonna have to re-engage, pull back for a little bit, try to get some maybe hold off, but no, it's looking like both teams are just holding out for the moment.
Yeah, I mean, their positioning, they weren't able to get the entire cleanup, so they had to kind of forced Curious Cats to back up all the way past that arch point, but now they're able to come back in with Barrage. It gets booped by Jammers!
Oh my goodness, that was almost a huge barrage coming in from Imri, but another massive anti coming in from Zenpai, but it's not going to be enough. It's just the sheer amount of damage coming out from 777 is too much to handle. They're trying to hold as long as possible, but that's going to be the last person to stall, as they do finally get it with a big time, 5 minutes and 3 seconds on the board.
I was about to say 7-7 had no real option to deal with the Pharah. Jammers decided to take matters into their own hands, just getting the boop kill onto the Pharah. Barraging Pharah is the ultimate Chad move, in my opinion. Curious Cat's now moving back over to a brawl of their own. They're going to keep Ifrit on the Ashe just to save his ult charge, which is probably the right call. Oh,
ooh, and a massive shatter coming out from Phantom, but Sifty's gonna eat the Dragon Strike. That could have been so much worse, but the damage is already done for 777. They've got all the kills needed, as they do keep this cart a moving.
Yeah, that was the That was one of the biggest read shatters I've ever seen in my life. As soon as Vince went for that Fire Strike, Phantom had their number. And now they're going to be able to get the cart all the way to the end of point B. They are going to, and what's even better is they're going to have the Blizzard. If it's not eaten by Sipsy, they're going to have the Blizzard to try to finish this out. And look at this, Vince is caught.
Yeah, Vince is already down in this fight. They're going to use the Ash to try Bob to get some extra damage, and that's going to be taken down immediately. The self-destruct is going to get one. That is really impressive. Both self-destructs are going to come out. It's thought that, but right now it's still going in favor of 777. Iveson going to get the Lucio out of this fight, as Iveson with another pick in this fight, and that should be all they need. The Shatter going to be used as well from Phantom to just take out Mr. Vince, and they're just going to have to reset now.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and say that I think Phantom has gotten 2 Shatters in before Oak manages to get his Dragons online, which just tells you the amount of work that he's putting in as that main tank player. Definitely the MVP so far in this series. Now, Curious Cats have to come up with something. They need to get massive value off of this Blizzard because they don't really have much else going for them. Sipsy is so low. He has to back off of high ground.
There goes the Blizzard out from Emery, but the Dragon Strike is perfect. Getting Mr. Vince is so big for the side of 777. They don't have that main tank any longer for Curious Cats, and it's just going to keep going forward. This cart has not stopped at all, it seems like, for the side of 777.
Yeah, it's just crazy the amount of pressure that 7 is able to keep onto Vince, even as they're retreating from the Blizzard that is trying to freeze them.
Yeah, well, they do use the Blizzard there as Emery comes back on the Doom, gets Lua out of this fight, but the Jammers with the Alpha Lucio play, getting the poop off the side of the map. But Emery has something to say. They've got another pick with this Doomfist, but it might not be enough. The self-destruct coming out from over the top, not going to get any value, but it's still going in favor of 777. But the respawn advantage is so much in favor of Curious Cats. They need more picks than they have to get this over the edge, as Mr. Vince gets Phantom for the first time, it feels like, in forever. And it's looking good. The Amp Matrix is out from Zenpai, and we're just seeing 777 regroup here.
Is Jams going to be able to get out of this? He might, actually. Yeah, he is. That's kind of insane. I mean, they had to commit the window in order to even feel comfortable securing that. They didn't want any chance of Jammers or Phantom being able to somehow waltz the cart into position. Wait, guys, please don't C9.
Oh, the Dragon Strike does get Emery. That's going to be a lot of one pick potential gone for the side of Curious Cats, as Oak already doing so much work, getting another pick in this fight. As Oak with 3, that should be all they need for this to finish off. The self-destruct on point just to cap it off, as they do capture with a lot of time on the clock.
Yeah, even though Jammers decides to take a dip into the abyss of the London sewage system, doesn't matter. The rest of his team will clean up pretty comfortably. That switch onto the Wrecking Ball by Vince and the rest of the team really did come at a disadvantage. You're losing all your ult charge in order to try to deal with, I don't know, something that the pressure coming out from Phantom and Oak. Unfortunately, that just leads 7-7 wide open to very comfortably secure that last place, or that last point, I should say.
Yeah, and it's looking really good. They only really got stalled out once, it felt like, on point 3. So it's really bodes well for this attacking or the defending phase. They've got a pretty decent time bank to deal with. So they can have a couple mistakes if they need them on their defense, but with how they were running and how they were playing on their attacking phase, I expect a really strong defense coming in from 777.
Wait, Lucio has a soccer ball emote? Is that
makes
new?
sense. It would make sense.
I've never seen that. Blizzard,
no clue.
Why are you keeping secrets from me? Never seen that before,
cool.
Actually. Curious Cats, they might come out on the Wrecking Ball composition that we were talking about earlier that was listed on their team sheet. So we finally have a chance to see what it's capable of. Imri on that Pharah, going to be looking to
Oh,
apply pressure, and Oak already catches Ifrit. I think the res
yeah.
is available though.
Yeah, Ifrit taking the arrow to the head, not the knee this time. As Oak with an, oh my goodness! What are these shots coming in from Oak? Another nice headshot coming in. They're gonna have to take this back. The Maywall gonna catch some Samato, and this is going to be a nice, easy fight win for 777.
Yeah, a couple really nice shots from Oak, just comfortably put 7-7 in a position to win that. He's really starting to catch my attention, at the very least. Phantom no longer. Oh, Jammers is caught out though, no res available, so now Curious has the opportunity to engage with this. No speed boost available for them.
Yeah, this no speed boost available is going to be massive. You can't really use a Rhine composition without that speed boost. And now we're going to be seeing Imri trying to raid from on high, but it's still looking good for the side of 777. They've got the trades necessary in this fight to keep it going, as they need to get another pick. But if they do, it looks like this. And just as I say that, Oak does get that pick, and they're going to be able to hold on.
The res is cancelled, I think. I think they somehow... Smato somehow fell off of wherever they were standing, so it got cancelled. It's kind of crazy. They did have advantage there, but the pressure coming in from Kilo and Oak was just enough to drive the attackers back into their spawn. Early Dragons does find a lot of damage, but the Immortality Field will save them.
Yeah, the self-destruct gonna get a pick. The barrage is well gonna get 2 though, so it's already in favor as Emery gets 3 in this fight. Can we get another one from Emery? We do. We get 4, but no 5K from the man on that Pharah there, as they do in fact get this point unlocked, but definitely a lesser time bank than 777 Esports.
Yeah, definitely. Imri does manage to find the kills with the barrage. They managed to find the kills onto Oak and Leah and the players that have the ults that could allow them to come back into that. Ooh, look at this Dragons.
An interesting Blizzard, really more of a zoning ultimate than anything. Didn't really touch anyone, but it's still looking good for the side of 777. They've got the first pick in this fight onto Mr. Vince, but Zenpai turning it back, trying to turn it back at least onto Oak, as they do swap over the Cowboy now. The Amp Matrix is out, not going to catch anyone with the Shatter, as the barrage coming back over the top again. Emery with 2. The Emery barrages have been so good for this Curious Cat squad, and they're going to be able to keep this cart moving.
Yeah, Oak moving over to the Kree, going to try to contest the Pharah here. Definitely not feeling comfortable on the Hanzo any longer. They want to make sure that Imri is no longer able to reign supreme. But that also means that they're going to be losing a lot of their ult charge coming into this last portion of point B.
Yeah, little Dragon Strike is going to be starting this fight off. You're going to have to walk down main. That's going to be so much damage coming in from Ifrit. And Phantom is already down in this fight, as it's already looking more and more likely they do, in fact, get that capture. And it's still a pretty decent time bank for the side of Curious Cats. And they're going to be able to get these late picks onto people as well.
Yeah, you're going to be able to stagger. Phantom move is over to the Orisa. You know, they had a shorter time bank going into this, but if they continue rolling like this, their time bank is going to be very comparable, if not better, than what 777 was able to achieve. Not to mention, you got your mines here available. You can easily just plop that onto where the Orisa is sitting, try to get her out of position. There's a lot of options for Curious right here.
Well, Hilo is already out of the mech, which is not going to go well for the side of 777. But Oak is going to try to turn it back, get a pick onto someone else. But Sipsty with 2 in this fight. This could change it all dramatically. They've got the minefield on the point, and the res is there onto Emery. Can anyone touch from 777? No! They're going to have a higher, bigger time tank.
Late EMP from Ibsen, I will say. Could have used that just a tiny bit earlier, but they didn't get the chance to because that third point was just so fast. I don't think the cart stopped a single time there. good ult cycling from Curious Cats, knowing how to. I think this really shows that they know how to play this Wrecking Ball composition uh, effectively against something like a Brawl. You definitely saw the pressure coming in for 7-7 as they kind of felt forced to make some of those swaps, or what they felt was necessary. So now Curious has the slight advantage going into overtime here. And
Yeah,
it
and then
looks
we're gonna
like
be
they are going to be once again trying out their bunker composition on attack. It almost worked out for them, honestly, on that first attack round. They did manage to get the picks, but they just weren't able to finish off the people from 7-7 who were on the high ground. They weren't able to flush them out entirely, and they had to back up. So if they can learn from what happened on that first attack round and make a few adjustments to what 7-7 was bringing, they could definitely hold at least for a good amount of time here on point A.
Yeah, it was looked it. The composition Curious Cats was running did work out pretty well for their defensive phase, but just like you can't really run it when there's a Reinhardt right directly in your face. Well, so we're gonna see this same rotation coming out from 7-7-7 yet again, but there's so much damage coming in from Emery trying to get some things, but it's gonna be Ibsen going down first in this fight with a nice headshot from Ifrit. They're gonna have to stall out here now.
That's not too bad. I mean, Ibsen is going to be on the Sombra, kind of a lone ranger when it comes to playing this rush composition. I think 7-7 will be able to advance. They're just waiting for their Sombra to get into a better position, kind of stuck here in room. They will contest point, however.
Yeah, and they do get the hack onto Sipsty, but Emery getting another Iveson going down yet again. They need to build up this EMP if they're going to have any shot of going into this, but Oak trying to turn it back. Getting Zenpai out of this fight is massive. No, that major source of healing is down for Curious Cats. Is Oak with another pick in this fight, and that should be enough. The barrage is going to be there. Emery does get Phantom, but it's not going to be enough as it's just Ifrit left. And it should be 7-7-7 being able to capture this out with a still decent time to go through.
Yeah, 7-7 was able to stay on the high ground despite the fact that their Sombra was killed twice in the process. They were able to get Vince off of the high ground, kind of force him off, and then Sipsy was kind of left stranded in the hallway right there. They were forced to take all the damage and hope that somebody would come to help him. Zenpai went down, unfortunately. So good execution from 7-7-7. They don't have too many ultimates to work with right now. Definitely not that EMP given how many times Ibsen went down. So, but Imri did use that barrage, which is the one major tool that Curious Cats has to work with. And now this Deadeye could be massive.
Well, it doesn't look like they need it. Samato already down in this fight. They've got it for a later fight, and they also have the EMP as well. The 7-7-7 have all the tools necessary to keep this cart moving, but they're not going to have to use anything right now, Rudy. They've got all these picks without using any ultimates.
Yeah, the rotations are coming in way too late. Sipsty, I believe he got hacked right there, which means he couldn't just boost away. And now Vince has to try to contest this cart at the very end, but unfortunately the massive ult bank from 7-7 is just going to be able to do them in regardless. And now we're looking at a possible third point finish. I mean, just look at the ult bank. Oh, wait, hold on. Did Jammers use beat there at the last second? Not sure why he did that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to go in without that beat. Looking at Curious Cat's ultimate here, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... Alright, whether it was a fat finger or not, it is going to be pretty hard for them. Oh my gosh, the EMP is going to come out to negate the bongo here. Going to be pretty effective, but the res is there for Ifrit.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They do get that self-destruct kill. But just as I say that, Sipsy getting Ibsen, and there goes all the ultimates for Curious Cats. The shatter is going to be massive, but there's not enough people left for 7-7-7 as Emery is getting so many picks in their favor. They're going to stop it with 55 meters to of progress on point 3.
All right. If you're Curious Cats, you know what you need to do. You need to have a really good attacking round. And basically complete the map, which is, easier said than done, especially with the composition that Curious kind of ran on last attack point. It's a Wrecking Ball composition that tends to be slower because it relies on poke. But when it's slower, obviously that means it takes more time to capture those essential uh, points. You're really relying on the sort of the fallout from your ult bank that you gain on first points in order to get a pretty good round. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on them to try to capture first point with this Wrecking Ball composition, especially since 7-7 probably knows that that's what they're going to be coming out with. I mean, Oak and Ibsen have now permanently swapped over to the McCree and the Sombra here in order to counter. It looks like Curious might be actually going for... Actually, they don't know. They're talking about it.
I think they realize that 777 probably know that they're going to be running what they ran on their first attack. So they were maybe contemplating running a rush, but no, they're going to be sticking with what worked for them on their first attacking phase.
It's really going to be important for Vince to not be caught out by that Kree or Sombra. He is so susceptible to their CC abilities. It's almost scary.
Well, we're just waiting for something to happen. Emery is trying to get this first pick in the fight for Curious Cats, and that is going to be the go sign. They need a pick from their Pharah or their Hanzo here to really do anything. But they might have gotten it. Kilometer is super low, but it's not going to matter as Oak is going to get this first pick in the fight as Emery goes down. The res is going to be there, but it's going to be canceled by Oak with a nice flashbang. That is disastrous for the side of Curious Cats. You'd have loved to have gotten it really quickly, but Kilometer is down. They don't have their mech any longer, and Emery does get that final kill on to that pick onto the Diva. It's now turning in favor of Curious Cats. They've got 2 picks from Emery and 1 from Ifrit. Now they don't have this point presence that they don't have this line for the point presence anymore. It's all looking good for Curious Cats.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that Oak canceled the res, he wasn't able to get the pick that allowed for Smato to come back to the rest of his team for the healing. But oh my gosh, look at the Deadeye that comes in, gets Senpai.
Yeah, it's going to be massive, and as well with the Amp Matrix Fire Strike from Phantom, they're going to be able to stall it out here as a big anti-nade, but it's not going to matter as there's no one really to follow it up, as it's down to a minute for Curious Cats to get this capture percentage.
That was such a fast recontest from 7-7. They knew exactly what they needed to do with the window and the Deadeye committed. They were able to get the pick. And now Curious, they have the ults available. They can definitely work with both the early dragons here, and now they're going to be looking for that barrage. Maybe nano the Pharah to try to deal with it.
They do, in fact, nano the Pharah, but it might not. The barrage might not be needed as they've already got 2 picks in this fight. After a nice Dragon Strike that got some people away from each other, and it's looking more and more likely for Curious Cats to capture this up. The self-destruct hero play from Kilometers trying to do something here, but nothing's going to be doing. A nice anti-nade yet again from Senpai, as they are trying to do everything they can to hold on to this point, but Emery and Mr. Vince are going to use their ultimates, get the kills necessary, and they should have this.
They're contesting still.
Just as I said, they have the contest is still there as Kilometer gets a remake kill on the Senpai. The EMP is there. Oh my goodness, Curious Cats have lost it. Ifrit with 2 with the Dragon Strike. What is going on here? They've got 3 people left. The respawns are coming back from both squads. They need to do something. Mr. Vince trying to get the picks necessary, and I think they've done it. They finally got it. They just have the Amp Matrix to deal with. And oh my goodness, at the 11th hour, Curious Cats somehow get that capture done.
All right, now it's going to be really important for them. You need to stick on card here. Obviously, if you step off, that's a big old Charlie Niner. Oh, okay, it looks like they are actually going to be switching Vince onto the Reinhardt, playing more of a traditional mirror, but with the Pharah, continuing to play that Pharah, hopefully to keep up the pressure, because I think Image is performing pretty admirably here. Deadeye from Oak could ruin his dreams, especially with this flank angle.
Yeah, well, I do like this keeping the Pharah. They don't need the Lucio speed boost because they're going to be staying on cart here. But Sifty is already out of mech, and that's going to be huge to deal with that Deadeye from Oak, as they now have nothing to really eat up that damage besides just killing him. As the high noon is going to be used, looking for anyone, but everyone's staying out of his sights. But they almost peak. It's time for Oak to pull that trigger. But nothing is doing another massive anti coming in from Curious Cat as Emery gets the pick on the Phantom, and that is all on the back of Zenpai.
Yeah, Zenpai putting in work on this Ana pick. You really need to find those good antis when you're playing an Ana in a rush composition, and thankfully they did. Honestly, kind of a bit of a preemptive Deadeye from Oak. I feel like they could have gotten a lot more value if they had just stuck behind the Rhine shield, but unfortunately no value was found where they used it, and now Emery has a chance to use this barrage, especially with the bomb coming in. No deflect.
Emery with 3, and the self-destruct gets nothing. This could be the beginning of the end. Curious Cat looking very strong on this attacking phase after so closely losing it on
Nobody's going to contest.
The self-destruct is there, no one can touch, as that's going to be it. Curious Cats tie up the series 1-1.
Yeah, they had a monumental task ahead of them when 7-7 completed that overtime, but they took it in stride. Some heroics from Ifrit on the Hanzo on that first point allowed them to snowball their advantage all the way through Streets phase, really putting in work. Oak, I mean, he was so impressive on this Hanzo in the first round. It was kind of insane, but once Curious Cats was able to get that first point secured, they were able to get their ult cycling in. They really showed that Wrecking Ball was is kind of their bread and butter.
Yeah, they were really good on that Wrecking Ball composition. They knew when to engage. They knew what they needed to do when they engaged as well. And it's not, I don't like to say it because a lot of teams are really well coached in these tournaments. But with a below master squad, you normally don't see that level of coordination. And it's really great to see. I'm really excited for the following maps coming up, but we do have a short little intermission between this map 2 and map 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
They did find Cucumber, but he's going to lift him.
Oh, Vulcan gets caught right into that, and Speed is going to be...
Healing that was coming up from them. And then the Ana goes down after that, and it was just quick cleanup. Resignations and Witty really clutching out in the DPS department for SM, and they've got first capture crossing 15%. Ultimate's coming up online already. You're going to have Deadeye, and look, we've got Grab Dragons available for that test.
Oh, and they're going to waste no time in committing it. The Graviton comes out. It was there, but it's not going to get any...
Oh, excited. Thank you so much, Cybjorn. Living up to the... Oh, beautiful strats from Roar Esports. They're going to go ahead and teleport directly onto the point. So they will be needing them tantamount.
Nothing to try and eat it with, nothing to stave it off, no support ultimates. They've got a shatter, it might just have to be put in to keep the Bastion ult, but they don't care about this Bastion ult. They've got a Batiste!
Oh man, this is just nutty right now.
This is not something that you want to push in on, but it's going to be the bomb and the charge into Mansion picks up 3! All of the 3 that you want, the Reinhardt, both of the supports, and this is the fight done already. Frost
Here it comes.
It does pull out the Transcendence, but the anti-nade gets...
And here comes back on the Doomfist, not hacked up by the EMP critically. Starjummer has the Deadeye, no hack this time around. Starjummer gonna clean up the fight, get 3, get the electric cowboy for dancing effect.
This might be the best map for that in all of Overwatch, as we see the hook shot and the headshot.
Bane with the silk thread shot, show it off.
Isn't gonna work well against the Ghost Confar as fine the or you're not gonna get through this.
I love watching teams that I haven't seen play before play. It's always thrilling.
Round 1.
It really is. It's wild cards. It's something you don't get to see at the higher levels. Everybody's at least been seen usually at lower level matches. So this is always a fun experience.
Welcome back, everyone, to this intermediate EU division matchup featuring 777 Esports and Curious Cats. We do have a substitution, which is a big thing for Curious Cats. I think they still won that last map without their normal roster, but they do now have Muharu coming back in for them for this next map, which should only bode good things for this squad, as they did, like I said, just win on map 2 in a barn burner of a series of 6-5, going in favor of Curious Cats there.
Yeah, definitely. If this is the off-tank player that they play with the most of all, it definitely has them on the starting lineup, so that's probably the case. I mean, actually, no, Sipsty was the ringer, so yes, this is their normal off-tank player. He did manage to come back in, so hopefully they're able to really play these wrecking ball style compositions, or even some of their other niche compositions like the rush more effectively, especially if they want to continue making and continue to make some map wins in this series.
And yeah, we're going to be going in map 3, which is going to be Junker Town. And we saw this yesterday, on Friday, right? We saw a lot of Junker Town being played. And it'd be really interesting to see if we're going to be seeing double sniper from both of these squads.
I mean, it is the predominant meta on this map, no matter what type of meta you're in. I mean, I think Widowmaker is always viable on this map, especially on first point. And for that, I'm going to be looking mostly towards Oak. They have been phenomenal on the hit scan roll on both the Hanzo and the Kree. So if they're able to pull out like an Ashe or a Widow on this Junkertown pick, I'm definitely going to be looking forward to seeing what they could do. And also obviously this is their map pick, so obviously they have some sort of plan of what they want to run on this map.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll be seeing what they run whenever we get in. I believe we're having a little lobby issue, so we'll stick a little bit later. We got a little bit more to say. Do we go over what we're expecting from the tanks here, Rudy? I'm expecting double shield if we're going to be running double sniper, but it could be really anything. We could see Roadhog Zarya, which I saw yesterday in a different tournament.
Or you can even continue running the Wrecking Ball from Vince here. It's not too out of the question. Wrecking Ball will be good in contesting some of those far-away hit scan players. But for now, on defense side, at least, Curious Cats is going to be running the double shield. Not too surprising, since you kind of want to run a more bunker-based composition if you are going to be on defense. And it looks like Imri and Ifrit are going to be on the double sniper. Meanwhile, 7-7... they might potentially come out with a very different look here. Not Wrecking Ball, not anything like that. They might come out with a pirate ship composition with both Ib and Oak, or maybe not. Maybe this is a troll pick. I don't know anymore. Never mind. I'll eat my words.
Yeah, so we're just going to see the mirror matchup, but except for the Zenyatta here.
The Zenyatta is going to be very interesting indeed, because once you whittle down those shields, it is going to be good. Meanwhile, on the side, Jammers is going to have more sort of sustain. Will be able to protect themselves with the shield and any incoming dive if that ever comes into fruition.
Yeah, well, we've already got some damage done from both of these squads, but they're looking for that first pick from those snipers. They need that pick coming in to really finish these fights off immediately, as they got shields down for the side of 777. This is the perfect opportunity for Curious Cats to make something happen here, but we do see the Hanzo Widow duel there for a second, but nothing doing from that. But it's still looking good. Both teams are still no one down, but just as I say that, Oak takes out Muharu on the Sigma. That's going to be a lot of shielding gone, as another pick from Oak, as he is doing some great work on the Widowmaker for 777. As they use the Amp Matrix there, maybe a little preemptively, but or not preemptively, post-emptively.
Post-emptively for sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, Curious Cats was really comfortable letting 7-7 walk up to the two houses. Really comfortable in just sort of letting them take that space, but unfortunately this allowed Oak to get behind the second house near the cliff edge and just find those two picks. Ifrit wasn't able to confirm, and now look at him, he's just putting in much more pressure on Vince on that high ground. He's gonna have this visor, or whatever it's called, that thing, the thing with the spider eyes that she does, where she goes "Sacre bleu" or whatever she says.
But if it's going to start it out with a pick onto Leah, that's going to be a lot of healing gone for 777. But right now, and it's not going to matter because you don't have your Widowmaker any longer. So they've got to probably hold back, re-engage here, as he can't do much without that Widowmaker, especially with Ifrit on Hive just raining down headshot after headshot.
Yeah, very nice dragons. All they needed to use, actually Leah, I think, used the window as well, which forced Curious Cats into sort of that uncomfortable position. Thankfully, they didn't stagger themselves too hard, and they will be coming in with a full set of ults as well. Okay, both of the attacks going to be coming in for both of the Widows. I still can't remember the name, god dang it.
Yeah, Infrasight is up.
There we go.
Oak.
That's what it's
gonna
called.
For both Widowmakers, it's going to be really hard for the attacking Widow to get any value from that at this time. But we do see them already winning this fight out with Oak getting the kill onto Ifrit. The Transcendence is there from Samato, as well as the Supercharger. They're just dumping ultimates into this. It's a big Gravitic Flux going to get Jammers out of this fight, who just used their rally as well. But it's still going more and more in favor of 777 as they do get the eat through the kinetic grasp.
Yeah, nice eat there, but yeah, that was just a fight where both teams kind of dumped their ultimates all onto the table. I think 7-7 used their ultimates a bit more effectively, however, in response to the grab rather than sort of the aggressive ult usage from Curious Cats. And it ended up working in their favor this time around, and now Ibsen's going to be trying to get some sort of pick onto the high ground. They will be able to gather the information as well. And now Infrasight, oh no, actually no Infrasight. I thought I heard the voice line. But no, actually, no ultimate's going to be available yet. Actually, except for Ib, who's going to be having his dragons ready. Could push people off the high ground.
Oh, but it's not going to matter as Mr. Vince is already gone in this fight thanks to a nice headshot from Oak. But yeah, like you were saying, Dragon Strike can push these people off the high ground with a well-angled one. Look for Ibsen to do that sooner rather than later, I'd expect. There it goes. Gonna get a lot of damage onto the Sigma, and a nice ult coming in from Phantom after they fall. That is gonna be the unsung hero for that fight right there, as they're gonna be able to keep pushing this up as Oak keeps looking for this, as they're gonna get Samato out. Yes, they are.
Kind of left stranded on that high ground. Thought he was safe from the Widow. Thought not. Ifrit does manage to get the revenge kill. And both the DPS are down here, so Curious Cats has an opportunity to come back into this fight if they can manage to stay alive, but unfortunately it's not going to happen. Vince on the Wrecking Ball will not be able to contest, and that is a comfortable 3-minute, almost 3-minute time bank from 7-7, really snowballing that throughout first and third points.
Yeah, some nice plays coming in from 777. They've got a very big time bank on with almost 3 minutes on their time bank. But now we're going to be going into their attacking phase of Curious Cats, and I'm expecting the same compositions from both of these squads yet again.
Yeah, something similar. If you're going to play it on attack, you're probably going to play it on defense. Curious could come out with some sort of Wrecking Ball composition as well if they're not feeling too comfortable. After all, they did get, not destroyed, I would say, but definitely comfortably beaten within their bunker. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Curious does come out with a composition that's similar to the one that they're kind of teasing right now with Vince on the Wrecking Ball. Like I said, it could be a really big way to deal with Oak on this Widow, who's been pretty consistently just popping off so far. Imri on the Tracer as well is another way to distract both of the DPS. But I mean, 7-7 is just set up so well. You got jammers on the Brig as well. Like I said, that's going to be handy in dealing with some of these dive attempts to be made.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. You gotta look for Imri to get into the back line, try to take out Leah, try to take out Jammers or Oak as soon as possible if Curious Cats want to make any progress of sorts, because, well, they need to get rid of that Brig specifically if they're gonna have those dive attempts coming in from Mr. Vince. But it's already making progress. Nothing really doing, but it's going to be Kilometer already starting off, getting Ifrit out of this fight with the boosters, trying to get some more progress being made. But they're going to finally get a nice defense built up with Oak getting a nice headshot. And now it's all they need to do is just keep this. They need to just keep right where it is, and they can hold it this entire time.
Oak is playing so well. I mean, you can just see how, you know, he's managing to survey the entire landscape, look for those, you know, dive attempts from the Tracer and the Wrecking Ball. He knows exactly what he needs to be doing right here. Another dive attempt made by Imri on the Tracer. Well, actually, both of the dive heroes trying to go in, but the entire team backs up to give Oak their full support.
Yeah, and it's already going in favor of 777. They've got all the picks necessary going into this fight. As Iveson getting a 3, I think, maybe more, but the Amp Matrix again, maybe being a little bit used late. They didn't really need it. They've got the fight win in the bag.
What it did allow for them actually was to kind of burn down the Vince on the ball. They're gonna, you know, make sure that that res wasn't getting too much value. Okay, that was kind of a nasty little headshot, whip shot combo right there from Ibsen and Jammers. Res is gonna come through.
The Dragon Strike is there, not going to get much value, but the Minefield is going to build a lot of space for Curious Cats. Can't really contest with mines all over the point. Is Emery looking for a nice pulse bomb? The Zenpai going to be using the Transcendence really early, it seems, trying to keep everyone alive. Going to get the pick onto Phantom with the help from the pulse bomb. Kilometer trying to turn it back. Getting a self-destruct kill is going to be massive. They need more picks in favor of 777 as they do. Kilometer taking this fight on their back, getting another pick on the Zenpai, and that's going to do it. They're going to be able to hold Get again with 1:20 left.
Yeah, Zenpai, notice me, please. He is trying to kind of take whatever aggression that his team is kind of lacking and putting the team on his back, so to speak. But I just think Oak and Ibsen are just doing such a fantastic job in keeping that continuous pressure applied. Shout out to Leah and Jammers just also staying alive, making sure that Tracer isn't getting too much value.
Yeah, as a nice pile driver coming in, but Mr. Vince took so much damage trying to get in there. They're already out of this fight, and there's only 45 seconds to go. They need some hero plays coming in from this DPS duo. Oh, just as I say that, it's getting a nice shot onto Zenpai. The res is there, but it's not going to be there for a while as Zenpai just gets taken out right again.
Ibsen is feeling it. You can see by the way that he's flicking. The flicks are coming in, and they are lethal, if I say so myself. Muhuru trying to take some type of advantage on this staircase entry, but that just makes it, oh my god, the eat from Kilo is just so massive too.
That could have been a huge pulse bomb, but thanks to Kilo with that nice defensive matrix, they've got this fight in the bag. There's so many kicks already in favor of 777. It's just Muharu trying to have a hero play with the Sigma ultimate, but it's not going to do anything as 777 get the full hold and take a 2-1 lead and going into match point.
Curious Cats once again trying to pull out the Wrecking Ball composition that led to their victory on King's Row. Unfortunately, I think this time 7-7 was just ready for it. I mean, just these shots in particular from Ibsen were insane, but I think both him and Oak were putting up great, consistent performances, not letting the dives get to them too much. So great work from them. And so now it's going to be Curious Cats' turn once again to kind of come back and see how they can deal with the fantastic DPS plays coming out from the enemy side.
Yeah, they just need, I feel like, a little bit more team coordination, and that's going to deal with a lot of hero plays coming in from 7-7-7. Yeah, if you're more together, you're playing like a team, it's going to be a lot harder for them to get those immediate picks that we were seeing on Junkertown. And going into an assault map, specifically playing together, playing as a team, is so big. It helps so much more, especially on that second point, which is so hard to take.
Yeah, in particular, I think Vince and Imri, Ifrit, were doing pretty okay jobs in trying to kind of pressure out the Widow from that high ground where she was positioned a lot of the times. I mean, kind of, they were going one after the other a lot of times, but I think the few times that they did both coordinated like dives onto the Widow, it's just the entire team just fell back. You can see a whole lot of peel coming in from Oak. They know they need to protect Oak on that Widow. He is applying the most pressure onto that Tracer and those supports. So they need to there is their priority to protect them at all costs. We are going to be seeing the next map type is going to be assault. Is going to be assault. So they are looks like they are going to be going to Temple of Anubis. Curious Cats is.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty bog standard. Not many people really want to really run anything else. Hanamura, a really difficult point 2 as well with Volskaya. Temple of Anubis seems to be a favorite of a lesser of the evils of the assault map type. And I do like some of Temple of Anubis gameplay, especially when we see the old school compositions of that Widow or any type of sniper and the Junkrat.
Yes, definitely. It is going to be interesting to see what composition, like overall composition, they want to play. You could run something like more spam oriented with either a Junkrat or, I mean, if you're really ballsy, even a Wrecking Ball on attack. It is looking like Curious Cats is going to be going on attack first. So they could definitely pull out something like that. I mean, I don't know. Temple of Anubis is such a weird map. I think it's a map where a lot of different types of compositions feel favored. Like at least some of the times, or you can just get shut out on like first point, and it doesn't even matter what type of composition that you're running. You just get shut out, and that's it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I like you're saying. A lot of different compositions can be run. We can see old school dive. We could see a Farah being played here. It's really both. That's why I think Anubis is just the better of the three assault maps that we can be running, as it's just you can run whatever you want and whatever you're comfortable with, and that is a big thing for a lot of these teams.
Yeah, it says here that Imri's most played hero is his Farah, so for sure I could definitely see that Farah coming out on defense or even attack if they feel comfortable running it up against Oak's Widow or even his Hanzo, to be completely honest with you, or even his McCree. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think they are restarting the game right now, so it looks like we'll have a little bit more time to kind of dissect what it is that Curious could run. But remember, this is match point for them. They need to win this map in order to have a chance on closing out this series on a map 5.
Yeah, and like you were saying, Imri with the Farah, we saw them do so much work on King's Row. I would really expect them to stick with that Farah because it worked so well for them. And but on the flip side, 777 have got to be thinking that in the back of their mind. Oh, Imri was so good on that Farah on King's Row. We've got to have to run a counter here, like maybe an Ash, maybe the Cowboy. It's really it's a bunch of mind games right now from both of these squads. And whoever gets the upper hand in those mind games will be probably winning the series out.
Yeah, I mean, you could go with the Pharah, or you could even go with something less traditional, like a Junkrat. Play either like bunker or rush, and then if you know that the enemy team might want to play hit scan more often, like Oak, on Hanzo. Junkrat is one of those heroes that can just destroy you no matter what kind of squishy character that you're playing. So definitely a lot of options for Curious Cats, but they are at sort of the their backs against the walls in terms of a loss for this week.
Yeah. As we're heading in here, we do see Curious Cats on the attack, so we're not going to talk about their composition, but right now 777 opting for something we were kind of hinting about, but instead of the Pharah, they're running the Echo here.
They're running Oak on the Echo as well, which I think is pretty interesting since he's been playing mostly hit scan throughout this entire series. Maybe he just has like a pocket Echo that the team decides is pretty good, because otherwise, you might want to see him on the Hanzo instead. But I think Ibsen's Hanzo was doing some pretty impressive work in that last map, so maybe they just want to keep him on the Hanzo. But it's going to be interesting. Let's keep an eye out on Echo, or on Oak on the Echo, to see just how he does. Curious Cats, they're going to be going with Dive, with also Imri on the Echo.
Yeah, so we're seeing a mirror matchup, kind of. We're seeing a mirror matchup with the DPS and one of the supports. So we'll see how both of these teams get on in this first fight. They're just poking this out. They're trying to get as much damage as they can possibly get in before they can start the dive with Mr. Vince. But Oak is going to start it off with a pick onto Ifrit. That is a massive pick. That one pick potential from Ifrit is gone for now, as they're going to have to regroup and wait for Ifrit to come back.
One of the advantages of running the Ana is that you get nano very quickly, especially since against this sort of poke style that Curious Cats is running. So nano is going to be available. Vince, man, he's only 20% to a primal, but you know what? If he has nano, doesn't matter. He can just go in, apply a lot of damage.
Yeah, and Muharu is going to take out Jammers already in this fight. That is going to be huge going forward for Curious Cats. No more shield bash, and Ifrit swapping over to the Widowmaker, gonna get Leah as well. That's both supports down, and another headshot coming in from Ifrit, and that is going to unlock this point for the side of Curious Cats, with it doesn't look like any attempt from 777 to re-engage here.
Yeah, great use of the nano. Jammers was just unfortunately caught out. Not much he could do. I think he might have missed the whip shot as well. Unfortunate, but it happens. Now you're going into this map, or second point. Vince pretty close to a primal, so they're going to keep on the Winston. It is harder to play Winston on this second point, especially against sort of a bunker style composition. All right, early dragons just to flush them out.
Well, it's going to help because Ifrit is already down thanks to Oak, and they're going to have to burn Rez as well, trying to keep this tempo going. But it's not, they're not going to have it for a good 25 seconds now, as Muhara almost getting demeched there, as they already have Nano Boost up yet again before Primal could be even used by Mr. Vince here, as they're going to be using the Nano Boost yet again, and they're going to be copying the Diva. Look for a big self-destruct from Emery on this Echo, and it's already going good for the side of Curious Cats. They've got Jammers out of the fight yet again, and the self-destruct is going to get Leah, as this is going perfectly for Curious Cats. Kilometer trying to turn it back, get a self-destruct kill onto Mr. Vince, but still the kills are going in favor and more in favor of Curious Cats, but the respawns are there for the side of 777. They have the people to get back to this point, and they do the tricks. The enough is Oak gets a 2K pulse bomb and kills himself in the mix of it all, as 777's re-engage is massive.
They didn't even get a tick. That was such a good opportunity for them. They had so much advantage going into that with the picks from the Nano Monkey and the Echo, but unfortunately, it's just the respawn, and also the fact that Vince was kind of died early on in that fight, and that massive pulse from Oak, I mean, that was so good from 7-7. They didn't get a single tick on that. That's so surprising to me.
Yeah, I'm just as surprised as you. I thought they would have gotten at least one tick there. But now they're looking to get something done. They have no ultimates, but they have this. Oh my goodness, I was just about to say they almost have EMP up, but Ibsen says no, sends him back to spawn, and they're going to have to regroup now.
It kind of just happens when you're playing up against a Hanzo. Sometimes just a shot ends your career before it even begins. Unfortunately, Ifrit was trying to build up to that EMP, but it did not work out. All right, you do have EMP for this next fight. You have Nano to engage with either Monkey or the Echo if you even want to damage boost the Echo. Unfortunately, you got a lot of stuff from 7-7 to negate that. Rally and defense, or not defense matrix, amp matrix is going to be available for them, and they could even stave off some of the aggression with dragons. Got a lot of tools to work with here.
Yeah, and they're going to be going... we're going to see Ifrit, but we do see Kilometer taking the spy check, and he's almost getting Ifrit out of this, but the self-destruct is out there. Going to get 2 from the Ifrit's EMP, but it's not going to be enough. They didn't get the targets that they needed to in that fight, and it's already 7-7-7, flipping it in their favor as it's looking better and better as Oak is on 3 HP and still alive here, as the side of 7-7-7 being able to hold on and only using 3 ultimates there.
Yeah, Zenpai, I think he died before they managed to use the Nano, unfortunately, which meant that Vince was kind of left out to dry in terms of sustainability that he could have gotten. And now, I mean, you do have it for this next fight as well as a copy. And there's not really too much, like Jammers has already used his rally, so there is an opportunity for Curious Cats to come in here. They got a minute 30, which is, you know, good enough, especially from the just insane time bank they got on first points. That was a self-destruct, I guess?
Yeah, the self-destruct came out, but Ifrit is going to take down Oak after they swap to the legs, which is a big pick. Oak was trying to build up to another pulse bomb, and they're going to have the Nano Monkeys going in, trying to cleave so much damage on the 7-7-7 as the Echo copy is there as well, already built up to a self-destruct. They're going to be using that self-destruct, trying to build some space, make some space. They have to use that immortality field to stay alive.
No!
As Mr. Vince goes down, but it's still, and it's going now in favor of 7-7-7. As Ibsen goes down, however, Supercharger out from Phantom, trying to get as much damage as possible, and they might have done it. They might have held yet again. The big ante from Zenpai is not going to be able to do enough.
That's so tragic. Vince dies before he can pop his Primal, and because of that, I mean, Primal would have been so useful there in just distracting the team members. You could have gotten that last tick. I mean, it was so close to being captured right there. Unfortunately now, you're going to be forced to come into here kind of quickly. Only 20 seconds left. You need to get into position right now. Use that Nano. Use something. And now Ibsen's going to be committing the Dragons just to stall out more time. Oh, they can still do it, I think.
Yeah, they almost have a nice combo from Phantom and Ibsen, but the Amp Matrix is out, trying to get a lot of damage done. The Primal is vested as well, but Ifrit coming around with attack visor, getting 1, getting 2. This could be what they were looking for. The self-destruct coming out from Muharu, trying to keep the opposing team off the point, and they might have done it. They're going to get the recontest there with Jammers on the break, and they're going to get Muharu out of this fight. This could be enough to keep it in their favor. Is Ibsen back on the Genji? 1, 2 picks, 3 picks for Ibsen. Oh my goodness, the Genji is doing it. And everything they need, Oak and Ibsen. Oh my goodness. And they stall it out before it gets to 90% capture percentage.
Putting in a lot of damage for like the 2 seconds that he was on the Genji there. 4 eliminations. That's kind of funny. A series of unfortunate events for Curious Cats. I think they could have easily gotten that last point with some time left, but an unfortunate blunder costs them potentially the series if 7-7 manages to capture first or both points here on their attacking round of Anubis. So now Curious Cats is in a heck of a lot of pressure to try to get a couple of really good holds on these 2 points.
Yeah, and we're gonna be starting it off with this this composition. They're gonna be trying to hold it off. They're gonna be using the the Echo Ash here with a dive defense from Curious Cats.
Yeah, definitely some dive defense. They're gonna try to prioritize more around Ifrit on sort of the high ground. They're gonna give him the either him or Imri the Mercy Pocket for the damage boost. And then 7-7 also looking towards this dive composition as well. With the mirror matchup, Oak on the Tracer, however, instead probably is preferring to run that over Ash on attack. You're able to get onto, flanks and high grounds much easier as the Tracer.
Yeah, we already see Oak trying to take some duels with the D.Va in the backline, and it's looking good for Oak at the moment, but it's going to be Ibsen who starts the kills off in favor of 7-7-7. But the D-Mech on the D.Va is going to be massive as well, as it's looking good for 7-7-7. And they're going to get another pick onto Ifrit as well. The DPS duo of Ebsen and Oak have just been doing so much work here, Rudy. It's incredible.
Yeah, both the tanks for Curious went down really early. Oh my gosh, look at this. I mean, okay, you get both of the supports. There's a chance that you're able to come back. No, there's only the D.Va left to contest, and I don't know. Eat my words, I guess. But they will manage to get Ibsen on that little recontest, but it's pretty clearly in favor of 7-7 for this round. They will get this with a massive time bank. Like I was saying, Curious's tank line just went down really early in that first point. I mean, what can you do about that? Zenpai is going to have this nano as a result pretty early.
Yeah, but both Leah also has that nano boost online, but Kilometer is so low. Gonna be able to get healed up, as we do see Oak in the backline trying to get a pick, and they do get Ifrit out of this fight. This could be the beginning of the end for the side of Curious Cats, as Phantom is just doing so much damage with that nano boost. The copy is there as well for Ibsen. Not gonna get anything doing, but a nice Primal Rage coming in from Phantom, getting some picks necessary. But just as they say that, Curious Cats have that respawn advantage, and Mr. Vince has already gotten 2. And they're going to be able to hold on to it.
Nice heroics coming out from Mr. Vince to save that point. Oh, wait. Oh, no, sorry. They didn't manage to get a single tick off of that. The stagger coming in, too, is going to be pretty good for them as well. They definitely need all the time that they can get for this defense. And looks like both teams are going to be coming in with an equal amount of ult charge. So it's going to be pretty even on both sides. Jammers is definitely going to have an advantage for his team coming in with the Valkyrie for that sustained healing and also a little bit of extra damage boost for a lot of their plays as well. Oak is really going to be looking for this massive pulse bomb as he's been getting throughout this series.
Winston. You see the duplicate coming in onto the Winston already from Imri, trying to get some value done, but Phantom takes down Mr. Vince, but Muharu turning it back with a self-destruct kill, and it's already going in favor of Curious Cats. They've got the picks necessary. 7-7-7, all they have to do is just hold on, re-engage, and not use anything more.
Yeah, for sure. Hold on, re-engage. Ifrit's going to have this Deadeye, hopefully to deal with the Echo and the Tracer coming in, trying to contest his territory. Ain't going to happen today. Zenpai's going to nano really early on.
Ooh, and he's going really deep, and they're going to be getting Jammers and Oak out of this fight. But Mr. Vince is going to pay for it with his life. But that's a trade 2-for-1 in the favor of Curious Cats. And they're going to have to hold on here. They don't have the manpower to push into Curious Cats at this time.
Yeah, good little use of the nano just to buy a little bit more time. Okay, they're going to back all the way up to the point yet again. Deadeye might come here with the nano. Nano onto the monkey. Oh my gosh, there's so much pressure coming in for Ifrit.
The self-destruct gonna get Ifrit out of this fight, and that could be yet again the beginning of the end for this side of Curious Cats, as everything is going now in favor of 777, as Phantom does get Mr. Vince in the end, and now they're gonna try to take a forward hold, try to get these respawns before they get to the point. As the Primal Rage is going to be invested. Ifrit does get Ebsen, but Emery is back on this Doomfist trying to get some one-pick potential, and they do. They get the Rocket Punch kill on the Kilometer. This is incredible that they've done it yet again. Emery with 2 Rocket Punch kills.
You gotta hate it when you're trying to secure the second point on Anubis and just a random Doomfist comes from nowhere and punches you into a pillar. Feels bad, man. Unfortunately, it is going to reset a lot of the ult charge for Curious Cats, and they're going to be coming in with only a rally, but thankfully 770 used pretty much all their ultimates as well during that engagement as a attempt to secure the entire point. So now rally's going to be really useful here.
Yeah, and they're going to push in with that rally armor while they still have it. But Mr. Vince is very low. They need, if they can get this pick onto Mr. Vince, this is their go sign. But no, he's going to get away before he falls too low. And it's still looking good. It's down to 1:30, but they need something doing. There goes Phantom into the back line, but he's going to be so live. Rally is going to save him for the time being, but it's not going to matter enough, as Ifrit does get Phantom out of this fight. And the Nano is used yet again onto Mr. Vince, and they're going to be able to win this fight out yet again.
Fantastic jobs from Curious Cats. They are just staving off so much aggression with the few tools that they really had. And now, coming down to this last fight, 1 minute on the clock. Both teams are going to have some sizable ultimates to work with primals, but Leah, most importantly, Leah is going to have that Nano to put onto anybody that they so choose. I don't think Zenpai is going to be able to build a Nano unless this fight goes on for a really long time.
Well, we've said that before, but Zenpai has got a lot of big ultimates. His Kilometer is going to start it off with a big self-destruct. If everything goes down with a Nano boost, it's not going to be what you want. Oh, trying to get another Deadeye pick on in this fight, but not going to do anything. They do get Emery out of copy, though, which is huge, but it's still going in favor of the side of Curious Cats, with Emery with 2 with the self-destruct copy. As it's down to 12 seconds left, they might have done it here. They might have held on for this long, long time. They're going to just pop everything they possibly can. Double Winston on the point. The self-destruct of Buharu is going to be enough. They've done it, Rudy. They've got the hold, and they're going to push it to a map 5 here.
I think that might have been sort of an unintentional use of the Nano onto the Echo instead of the Winston. I think they were aiming for the Winston. Oh my gosh, the play of the game gonna go to a hero that got like 4 seconds. He's walking out of spawn. He's walking out of spawn and he just casually gets a 3K. Absolutely insane. But I mean, just fantastic showing from Curious Cats, keeping their composure. They had a big task ahead of them, especially after the roll. That was that point A. So hats off to them, and now we will be going to a map 5 for our very first series of the day. This is some exciting stuff.
Yeah, it is indeed some very exciting stuffs. But we're going to make you wait a little bit for the best part of this series. We're going to head to a short little... Oh, wait. Sorry. We have Red Tracer stats first, and then we're going to head to an intermission. As... we don't want to not show you this, but look at that. Oak with their Tracer. 14 final blows, 8k damage, and almost 50% weapon accuracy.
Yeah, great. I mean, obviously, great showing from Oak on the Tracer. Once again, showing that he is putting in a lot of work. I do think that from the side of Curious Cats, I really do think that Imri and Efrit, especially Imri on that Echo, was really stepping it up in order to secure the team that defense win against, some of the heroics that were coming out from Oak. So got to give a lot of credit to both Oak, Imri, and all the other players in this lobby.
Yeah, so we're now going to go to that short little intermission before map 5. Do not go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss the end of this series. Welcome back, everyone. This is still the Intermediate Division EU game of the day. 777 Esports versus Curious Cats. 2-2 after a nice hold coming in from Curious Cats on Anubis. And we're heading to map 5, which is going to be Busan.
Yeah, Busan is going to be the final map. It's not possible to draw on this map unless you hack the game somehow, so this will be at the final one. I will say, looking at this series so far, it's been pretty interesting to see sort of the compositional changes and, you know, the way that Curious has managed to come back, because I think on both Lijiang and Junkertown, it was 7-7 who was winning very comfortably on both of those maps, playing stuff like Wrecking Ball and Bunker. But on King's Row and Temple of Anubis, Curious Cats, they kind of shown playing Wrecking Ball on King's Row, and then also dive with the Echo onto Temple of Anubis. So they've managed to keep it competitive on two of the maps, while on the other maps they've been kind of blown up. So going into this final map on Busan, where control is more of a game type that promotes a lot of different types of compositions, sort of your specialty, whatever it is you want to run. It is going to be interesting to see what Curious decides to run out on, and it is going to be also interesting to see what 7-7 wants to run out on, because they've been pretty comfortable showing us a variety of compositions as well. They haven't been afraid to play to play everything besides the Wrecking Ball. Oh, it looks like we are going to be starting off in the inner one, the Mecha Base. So this is kind of a map that promotes more rush, if I were to say like the dominant meta, but you could also definitely see some Wrecking Ball or some dive as well.
Well, we are seeing both teams hovering over that Rhine Diva composition. Probably going to see very similar things, but right now we're seeing the DPS being different from both sides for this moment.
Yeah, Doomfist is pretty good on this map. There's a lot of places where, you know, if he gets on high ground, he can definitely mess your day up with a pile drive and a slam. while Curious seems to want to come out with this Symmetra. So playing a little bit more fast-paced, aggressive.
Yeah, well, they're going to already have both teams going to be pushing up together. The hammer's already being swung, but it's looking good for the side of Curious Cats. But just as I say that, Mr. Vince is already down in this fight thanks to a nice stun from Oak on the Cowboy, and they're going to be able to win this out nice and easy, getting their first capture percentage on to Mecha Base.
Yeah, Ifrit's swapping up the Symmetra. They know, even though they managed to do a fair bit of damage in that fight, if you cannot contest the Doomfist in some way, it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be a real rough time for Mr. Vince on the main tank. So look at this. Isbin setting up some kind of dive here.
Ooh, and a nice rollout coming in from Ibsen there, but the Amp Matrix is already out from Zenpai. It's going to be a lot of damage coming in onto 777, and they might be able to capture it, the point just off the bat of that. But they do get the recontest. It is a nice kill onto Emery from Oak on the Cowboy, and it's already going back in favor of the 777 as Jammer's getting in on the kill feed, and a nice rocket side. A meteor mash coming in.
There you go.
Meteor mash coming in from Ibsen on the Doomfist. Not something you see every day.
Yeah, definitely not. Both teams expending a lot of ultimates there. However, I do think that Emery is going to be on this May. They're going to have the Blizzard available to try to lock up some of the aggression coming out from 7-7, and it is going to be work with this massive bomb coming in from Muhuru. Oh, I mean, there's not much you can do about that when you're just frozen in place, but you'll love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a combination of the Shatter and the Blizzard from Emery and Mr. Vince. Some nice teamwork coming in from Curious Cats and winning that fight out and getting their first capture percentage on this map 5 decider.
Looks like the only ultimates to work with now are going to be Kilometers, Diva Bomb, and then Ifrit's Jedi. Going to be difficult to find any value from this, so this is going to be a pretty dry fight if I'm going to be guessing. Oh, look at this Diva Bomb though. Oh my gosh, that was such a nasty angle. Doesn't find anything though.
Yeah, nothing doing with that angle, but Phantom is so low right now, and the Immortality field is gone. It's already going in favor of Curious Cats. They've got the picks necessary. The Kilometer trying to do something here. He's got 2 in this fight, but it's not going to be enough as it's still Curious Cats holding on.
Oh, well, it is going to get Zenpai on, coming back from spawn, which means that Curious wants to back up to allow their Baptiste, which means the 7-7 is going to now have control over the high ground, so they will manage to get in there. Look at the window coming in. Okay.
Yep, window coming in, trying to get some damage done, but Ifrit is going to be using this Deadeye, trying to zone people out, and they're going to get 2 with the Deadeye. Oh, baby. Ibsen trying to do something with the Meteor Strike, but it's not going to be enough as it's just Curious Cats still holding strong, and they've already overtaken 777's capture percentage.
Yeah, nice Deadeye finding out the aggression from 7-7, trying to come down that ramp. Unfortunately, they didn't have any sort of protection. Isbin was kind of caught in Lulu land as he was trying to get some sort of setup going in. The thing about Doomfist is that if you're not set up, you're not doing anything really.
So the Deadeye is coming out from Oak, trying to get something to do because it's up to 96%, but the Blizzard is out yet again. And a big Shatter coming out from Phantom, but the Blizzard is going to stop off a lot of that damage that could have been done, but it's still going in favor of 777. And Window is used, which is not good if you are the side of Curious Cats. That would have been a great re-engagement to watch.
Yeah, you're really going to be hurting from there because you have one more chance to recontest with this, especially with the ult bank coming out from 7-7, as they do have their window and they're pretty close to their beat as well. Now you're not going to be able to use it, and this massive stagger onto Muhuru means that he's not going to be with the team when they try to recontest, so now it's going to be a difficult task. Oh, Emery swapping off to the Doomfist, see what he can do, but he's already down.
Yeah, the uppercut is going to take down Emery in this fight. That's already boding poorly for the side of Curious Cats as the blue is spilling this kill feed as the self-destruct is going to be there just to keep people off the point, and it's going to get 2. And that should be all they need. It's going to be a nice rollout coming in from Imri to touch again. The beat is there for in celebration as 777 are on point, are on match point yet again.
Yeah, okay. Well, better showing from Curious Cats. Honestly, when they came out with the Rush Mirror, I thought it was going to go a lot like it did on the first map, Lijiang Tower, where they kind of got comfortably dominated, I should say, on that Rush composition. But now, looks like these teams are once again going to go with Rush, the Winston, Lucio Moira variety this time, with mirror match on the Reaper and the Sombra. And we saw 7-7 also very comfortable playing this as well on Lijiang. So it's going to be curious, I should say, no pun intended, to see if they can manage to replicate their success.
Yeah, it will be. Curious Cats need to definitely get some success here because they need this map. They need this point win to keep their series alive, keep their chances of winning this series. But Oak is already going to take down Mr. Vince, and it's going to be big. But just as I say that, Oak can't killed as well, but it's still 777 in complete control of this. So they got all the picks they need to capture this in first.
Yeah, they rolled out really well there. They managed to get the hack onto the Mega in that little room before Curious did. So much pressure onto Vince that they had to back up, but ultimately it was Oak that found the finishing blow onto them. But now they're going to go straight to point. They're not going to try to prioritize going to high ground, which means that 7-7 gets the drop onto them, and this early coalescence that they built up as well, it's going to do some damage.
Well, Mr. Vince is down yet again. First in the team fights. It seems like a very same song from the previous control points, as the main tank going down first in these fights is losing. It's not good. You need to keep your main tank alive, specifically on these control points.
I mean, it is pretty hard to do. Oh, okay, that was almost a big D-mech or a remech kill coming in from Uhuru. Big stagger though, nonetheless. And now, I mean, this has been a very dry couple of fights so far. No ultimates being used, and now you got everything but the kitchen sink to throw at the other team here for both sides. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. However, oh my god, massive EMP.
A massive EMP, and followed up by Oak with the Death Blossom. Going to get 2 as well. And that's going to be a nice team fight win, but look at that, Rudy. There's 5 ultimates, almost 6 on the board for Curious Cats here.
Yeah, you can definitely find some value out of that. Ifrit goes down pretty late too, which means even more time off of the bank, and we do have a pause here for some reason. But I mean, like we said, you know, massive ult bank. You did use 2 ultimates in that last fight if you're 7-7, so it is going to be an advantage going forward. You only have about 20% left to try to get a good recontest in. You will have tools like Coalescence to engage as well, which is nice. But, man, that EMP happened so fast. I didn't even see the setup for that, to be completely honest with you. I was looking more... I was thinking they were just continuing to be set up, and then just all of a sudden, EMP is popped and the entire team is dead.
Yeah, it was a great EMP. Got 5, and then the Death Blossom follow-up was there. And... well, it's now looking good for 777, but like we were saying before the pause, there's 5 ultimates on the board. This is, and almost the sound barrier as well. So it's going to be really difficult for 777 to hold on to this.
All right, looks like we will be going back in. There were some mouse issues, I think, from one of the players, but now everything's sorted out. I mean, 6 ultimates. Look at this coming in from Curious Cat. So if they don't get this... I mean, nothing else will.
Oh! He's going to target off with a big kick onto Smato.
No!
As instant as well as they use the EMP. Nothing doing, and I think that's all. They've just got 2 people left. It's just the tanks and a D-Mech Diva just on point, and that's it. They're going to be using this sound barrier, trying to stall out for as long as they can, but there's nothing doing. The overtime bar ticks down, as they do get the Doomfist on the point, but it's just a little too late as the Moira dies, and so does Curious Cats' hope of winning the series as 777 Esports take our map 5 and win the series 3-2.
That was a pretty clear example of how pressing Q just randomly does not work. A lot of times you really got to coordinate those ultimates, and unfortunately Samato goes down to the Diva Bomb before he even has the chance to use his beat. And then in response to that, you know, everybody uses their ultimates to try to gain back that advantage. They were all so desperate to contest the point. They only had about 15% left to contest the point, and unfortunately everything just went wrong for Curious Cats in that last fight. But
yeah,
gotta give props to them for keeping a close series. But unfortunately, it is going to be 7-7 taking the win this week.
Well, we do have some somber stats to show you before we end off this portion of the live stream. And it's going to be some somber stats from Ibsen. As look at that. 0 deaths, 8,000 damage done per 10. Some great somber stats coming in from Ibsen.
Especially all of those hacks that he got from the EMPs and everything else. It was just, you know, they couldn't deal with it. They couldn't deal with it properly. I feel like Curious Cats never got an appropriate or an appropriate team fight in that last map.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Yeah, it's just unfortunate, a series of unfortunate events for Curious Cats in that last team fight. But good on you, 777 Esports winning it out. The series is done. We're going to be taking a short little intermission before our second match of the evening. I don't know what let me check. It's going to be Orthus versus Torblerone, the rookie division of the EU side as well.
Yeah, rookie division. If you guys want to see some good old plat on plat action, join us as we continue our broadcast into this night. Otherwise, I mean, that's it. Anything else to say, Jokers?
No, just stick with us while we have our little break, getting everything set for the next matches.
loved you the same this whole time, so tell me, what's on your mind? And I'm not here to hear you say you're fine. I can take the pain you hold inside. I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your kryptonite? Can't get this off my mind. Does it only control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't lose you this time. Can I feel your kryptonite? Can I feel your kryptonite? You think you're too far, but I'm where you are, you know. I said I won't leave your side. They left you bare, but I'm begging you, stare in my eyes for you. Yeah, I give my life. And I'm not here to hear you say you're fine. I can take the pain you hold inside. I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your kryptonite? Can't get this off my mind. Does it only control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't lose you this time. Can I feel your kryptonite? Can I feel your kryptonite? I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your kryptonite? I'm here to hear you say you're fine. I wanna know, wanna see it. Can I feel your kryptonite? Can't get this off my mind. Does it only control you? Let me in, I'll help you out. I won't.
They did find Cucumber, but he's gonna lift him.
Oh, Vulcan gets caught right into that, and Speeder's gonna be able
Oh,
to follow
no.
up. Talking
You
about
let
jumping
him
over to the
Doofus,
Doofus, talking about playing into the
a
Doofus.
manos de la bola. Ya son 3 las picks que conseguía el equipo de British Hurricane.
We need your help to decide our Opinion Outpost MVP of the match.
He's got a minute to kind of work some sort of pick against this Doc, and oh my good lord, he just got eviscerated.
See? Oh! He's not dead! Hey, now he's dead!
Holy cow, I've never seen someone get so aggressive.
Oh, catches their opponent outside of the building, and that is it.
It's Rocket League Wednesday on the High School Esports League home room. I am, as the kids say, vibing right now.
This is just fumes for them, while Pharaoh rips shot after shot after shot of the back of them.
Good wall towards site, but it's already been broken, so they can't even get that spike down trustedly. Camera over towards site, and again, it's getting all that information. Hebot going absolutely massive!
Here in this map number 4 season, up on championship point, being up 2-1. Nifty dropped down to 19 HP. Joker with his M13 in hand is just trying to hold the angles.
Hello everyone and welcome back. Now we're in the rookie division, still sticking with EU, and we're having Toblerone versus Orthus, and I'm still here, not with Ocean, with Rudy.
Once again, yeah, I had a name change in between the games. Decided to rip off our lovely color caster Ocean. Get that EU representation really flowing, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we're gonna be having a match here between Toblerone, which, come on, that's a great name.
It is.
Just fantastic name. And Orthus, actually, we had the opportunity to see Orthus on broadcast last week. That was a game that I casted personally, and they ended up winning in a 3-1 fashion. So pretty impressive showing from them. They had a really good DPS line, kind of subbing out between Tiki and I believe it was Black Icy or something like that. And yeah, I'm excited to see what they bring to the table this time around.
Yeah, I am too. We're gonna be we see the lineups right here for both of these squads. Like you were saying, Tiki and Black Icy are on the side of Orthus. And we're going to be starting out on the Lijiang Tower yet again today.
Lijiang Tower seems to be the appropriate control starting off map for here in the group stages of the of Rookie Division. And like we said in the last match, this is a map that really lets you kind of flex your boots. There's a lot of different options that you have throughout this different maps, as kind of seems to be a theme of control. So you can come out with the Symmetra Rush, you can come out with the Wrecking Ball stuff, you can come out with Dive even for a map like Towers, where you have like the big sort of tower in the middle of the map that allows you to sort of get your dives going in there. So it's going to be really interesting to see what these two teams pull out here.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. Like we saw this earlier today, a load of different compositions can be ran on these points, and we'll be able to see where we're going to be starting and what most likely we're going to be seeing from both of these squads when we load into the game. We do unfortunately have a wait for one player, but until then, we only can speculate on what we're going to be seeing from both of these teams.
I see we have another spectator here in the lobby here. We're waiting on one player, but we can. I think we're fine right here. I'm pretty comfortable just sitting here, waiting. No problems for me. Actually, I can actually speak on what Orthus might run. They were doing a lot of different composition swaps, but they were going a lot from playing sort of rush style compositions. They were playing a lot of Pharah as well. And one of the more interesting things, I think they were playing with a sub last time, because I remember their support line being different. They had somebody else on main support, I believe, is that they were playing a lot of Lucio Mercy, which is not a backline choice that you see very often, but that might be because they were playing with a sub that was more comfortable playing on sort of the on the main support role or the flex support role. So it's gonna be, we'll see if we look out for it. But I thought it was really interesting the way that they were playing it, because they were playing it with the Wrecking Ball stuff. So they were playing Lucio, Mercy, and then like Wrecking Ball, Pharah type of compositions, which is not something you see very often.
It's definitely more normal if you're going to be running not like a stable main tank like a Reinhardt to see out Lucio Mercy. It's a very advanced composition because it's so little healing. But we'll see if they're going to be sticking with that Lucio Mercy or what we're going to be going into. But right now, they're looking like they're going to be running that BAP Lucio, which is pretty bog standard right now.
Yeah, BAP Lucio, and Torbjorn might be coming out with the the Moira Lucio instead here. Also not opting to run either the Symmetra or the Junkrat here. So it's going to be in their best interest once they see the Junkrat to kind of stay back and let Baronite kind of take pot shots with his primary fire.
Yeah, well, are you seeing that Symmetra is going to be benefiting the side of Orthus for the moment. But everyone's now in this tight room looking to get some damage, but it's going to probably be a huge with Black Ice on this Junkrat. But it's going to be Offie starting this pick on a Deadly, and that's going to be going, oh my goodness, they already built up a Shatter. That's going to be a 4-man Shatter as that, as Orthus is already starting off incredibly fast.
Probably didn't need that Shatter, but you know what? Reinhardt's and shattering when there's no need for one is kind of synonymous at this point, so no complaints for me there. It was very nice nonetheless. And now Orthus with an early lead. Crafty is already 70% of the way to a wall. Interesting swap from Baronite here. He's going to be going for the Pharah of all things. And look at this, Asif gets caught by the wall.
And he's already down in this fight. It's looking good for the side of Toblerone as Orthus is on that back foot, regrouping, going back to the point. The Shatter is out, but they are going to be falling. There's no way to follow up on that Shatter as Orthus going to be able to hold on to this point.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate. Rubery got caught out very early on in that fight, so they weren't able to take advantage like they kind of wanted to off of the Asif going down. But now you will have the Blizzard coming in from Mariner. Potentially could make some space. Coalescence going to finally be coming in from Rubery. Could have used that last fight.
Well, there goes the Blizzard out
nice
from
Blizzard.
Mariner. And it's going to keep the self-destruct in a little area there so they can be able to dodge it quite easily. As Squirrelbug going to take on Asif. And that should be enough to change it into their favor as Rehash gets a nice self-destruct kill. The Black Icy is still alive, getting damage in onto the front line. It gets another pick for Black Icy, and the Junkrat is doing so much work.
Oh
another
my
pick
goodness.
with a nice mine in the air, and that is going to be enough to should be able to hold on to it. They've got no real point presence to Toblerone.
Yeah, some nice directs coming in from Black Icy here, making that Junkrat shine. Didn't even need to use the tire to save his team from that fight. Deadly's gonna go down here too. That beat could have been really helpful here, and I think it's just gonna be map set right here.
Yeah,
actually,
Baronite does get a barrage kill and a kill as well, but it's not going to be enough as the Shatter's there just in celebration, as it's just going to be Deadly who's going to be trying to touch, but they use the beat instead and get booped away in the end as we do see Orthus taking round 1 on Lijiang Tower.
Nice little heroics there from Black Icy on that Junkrat. Doesn't allow Toblerone to press their advantages, honestly, because Toblerone were in a state of advantage for a lot of those team fights with Asif going down really early. Unfortunately, the lack of support for Baronite on the Pharah meant that they weren't able to get enough value, they weren't able to get enough value on the Pharah. And then it looks like now they're going to be committing a Mercy to him finally. And Orthus is going to be going, like I said, look at this, the classic Lucio Mercy support line.
Yeah, as they've already gone into this fight. They've got the point presence on lock with that Symmetra. And it's going to be difficult. Well, it's going to be easier now that they have that Symmetra, but the Symmetra is already down. Mariner's gone, but the res is right there. But it does not matter as Orthus gets the pick onto Rubery. And that is the bat gone. That's so much healing gone for Toblerone, and they cannot hold on to this any longer as all the picks are going in favor of Orthus as Squirrelbug goes off the side thanks to a nice little Lucio boost.
Yeah, unfortunately, despite the fact that you have two main supports, or two supports that are able to pull out a lot of healing, unfortunately, you're not able to keep your Symmetra up. That's definitely going to burn you. It is harder to play a Symmetra. Okay, well, that's just unfortunate. It is harder to play a Symmetra against sort of this divey Wrecking Ball kind of style. I mean, look at this. They feel so comfortable. Orthus feels so comfortable contesting Toblerone in their own spawn area.
Yeah, and it's working out good for them as Crafty is going to get Mariner out of this fight early on, and they're going to be able to keep building up percentages as Toblerone can't get anywhere close to the point.
Yeah, they're just hiding for the meantime. They did switch over to sort of more of a divey composition, so they want to get, I mean, who are they even going to dive, though? Are they going to try to dive the Mercy or the Lucio? It's going to be kind of difficult to do so.
Oh!
The mines are so massive.
Oh my goodness, Asp gonna get 2 in this fight with the minefield. And that's gonna be another reset from coming in from Torbjorn, but it's but Orthus has already got so much percentage on this board here, Rudy.
Yeah, they got a lot of percentage. They got a lot of ultimates to work with too. And even though Torbjorn has some ultimates to work with, I mean, like, what are you gonna do with an ultimate like window that only your McCree and your Baptiste can take advantage of? It's gonna be difficult. Their composition is kind of working in 2 separate ways.
Yeah, well, they're going to be trying to start us off, but Crafty already, yet again, getting a first pick in this fight, and the Mercy Res is going to have to be burned to keep Rubery in this fight. But if Squirrel Bug is down, and now it's the beginning of again, yet again, for the side of Torbjorn. They can't get anything doing at this time. The self-destruct is out, trying to keep people away from point. It's now into overtime. They need to win this fight, and they need to win it now if they have any chance of winning this point. But the high noon is there. They're gonna get the DMAC, which is massive, but it's still going in favor of Orthus. There's 3 picks in their favor, but now still going. It's still back and forth. It can anyone point right now. It might be Orthus backing off for the time being, but just as I say this, Aspis gets the pile driver kill onto Mariner. Aspis with another pick as well. It's just the Diva left on point. They need to get this last kill, and they've won this round out very, very easily. But the Monkey's back. A nice pulse bomb stick on a Rubery, who swapped over to the Moira, and a nice play coming in from the Tracer of Orthus in the end to win out Lijiang Tower.
Very comfortable showing from Orthus here, making the Lucio Mercy backline work. Definitely in their comfort zone, like I thought it might be. And, I mean, yeah, what can you really say other than it was a pretty comfortable showing from, I mean, that was a nice little stick right there to just end off the round, but it wouldn't have mattered either way. We do have a comparison ready for you. This is between the 2 main tanks, the 2 Reinhardts. And I think I'll let that speak for itself. Squirrelbug actually got in a lot of damage there, unfortunately. Just wasn't able to convert it to anything because either, you know, their team wasn't following up or something of the sort.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you're not getting all that damage done. They still win in the end, but they've got it's just worked so much well in their favor. It's so much more damage blocked for Squirrel Bug, meaning they are always on that back foot, and they can push that objective every so often with the side of Orthus. Just having a nice, a little aggressive Reinhardt play coming in from Asp.
Yes, definitely. I will say that the 2 tank players are two of the players that have the highest SR on the side of Torbjorn. So it looks like they're really trying to put in a lot of support for their tank players. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough, especially when you're going up against something as disruptive as a Wrecking Ball composition, where it's going to be really hard for tanks to get any sort of value. Especially playing that like Reinhardt or that Winston against a disruptive Wrecking Ball composition. But we are going to be moving on to map number 2 in this series. It is going to be the hybrid map, and it is going to be Torbjorn's choice. And they actually have their favorite hybrid map set as King's Row, and it actually looks like that's what they're going to be going to.
Yep, and we're going to be heading back down to London yet again, sticking on the EU side of things, going to King's Row. And we're probably going to see more of this rush style that we've seen from both of these squads so far. It's especially on the control center of Lijiang Tower. And if it has anything to do with what we saw on control center of Lijiang Tower, we saw Orthus just looking so much better on Brawl. And if it continues like that, it's going to be a really short series here, Rudy.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as Torbjorn doesn't make sort of the strange swaps that they were making on Control Center, because remember they like swapped over to Pharah, but like no support for the Pharah, which just meant that she was playing sort of a ground game more than likely. Yeah, I mean, you can find a lot of value off of stuff like the Coalescence, which is a really easy ultimate to build off of, as opposed to like Amp Matrix. It's more sort of it's easier to use than an ultimate like Window. So I mean, there's definitely still chances for Torbjorn to come in, but yeah, they're gonna have to make some massive adjustments.
Yeah, they are indeed, and we're already seeing, oh, it's a good old Ryan Zarya coming in from Orthus. It warms my heart to see this, because, you know, still, even though it's predominant, you never see the Zarya anymore. It's always the Diva, and I'm loving that we're seeing both teams right now opting for the Zarya.
Yeah, definitely. Zarya is definitely one of those heroes that it feels more of a comfort pick than whenever you pick it most of the time, rather than like a good meta pick. Diva's just so oppressive. It's nice to see the Zarya, definitely, for sure. Ryan Zarya, classic tank pairing, and it looks like Torbjorn will be going for it as well. Baronek on the Widow, probably just looking to get you know, some sort of headshot in before they switch over. Yep, they will be switching over to the Kree, and it will be a mirror, except Rubery is going to be on the Moira rather than the Baptiste.
Which is a really interesting decision. The Baptiste is just so much better in general. But I mean the sheer healing output, but a nice wall coming in from Torbjorn. They still got their things together. It's a nice immortality field, and it's still going in favor of Orthus. After a nice May wall, it does not win them that fight, and that's going to be Orthus winning this fight out because they regrouped, re-engaged, especially because they had the Baptiste.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I will say Mariner on this May has had some really good walls so far. That these are walls, all of his walls I feel have like caught Asif out of position more often than not. It's just that the peel from Orthus is just so quick. They're able to heal up Asif really quickly, able to disseminate what's happening and follow up on that. Oh my god, massive fire strike.
Yeah,
from
Mariner is super low right now, and Max Black Icy is going to take out Squirrelbug. Both Reinhardts are down, however, now, but it's still looking good for the side of Orthus, but the respawns are going to be in favor of Torbjorn, but it's not going to matter, as they're going to have to retreat the spawn for a little bit.
I actually really like that Window, because when you're down a main tank, you want to make sure that you do everything in your power to make sure that you are able to get enough picks so that the Ryan can get back into position with the rest of your team. But unfortunately, Mariner will, or actually, no, sorry, Black Icy will go down, which allows Torbjorn to finally get onto point here.
Yeah, they're going to have to re-engage quickly. It's a nice focus. Oh, almost getting Opie almost getting Baronek out of that fight, but it's not going to matter in the end, as Torbjorn is going to be able to capture the first point and get this cart a-moving.
And as you said, Rubery actually made the switch onto the Baptiste, so they probably heard your words in their head and decided to pick the more meta hero in this instance. I'm always a sucker for playing Moira if it's a comfort pick. I am a massive Moira OTP myself, so gotta love the representation, but unfortunately, I mean, yeah, you're right. Baptiste is just a better hero all around. And look at this. Oh my gosh, Squirrelbug just gets deleted.
Yeah, and the Shatter is going to be there, going to get Baronek down, but nothing doing with the follow-up from the Shatter, but it's not going to matter as Crafty Fox on the Cowboy going to get 3 picks, and they're just going to have to, they're going to stall out again, finishing off with 4 in that fight.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, they had a bunch of ultimates going into that fight anyways, so they probably would have won either way, but just, you know, the early pick onto Squirrelbug definitely wasn't helping anything. And look at this, they're going to be rotating up onto the high ground here instead of opting to go underneath, which I think is a pretty neat kind of adjustment. See what they can do. They can even kind of wrap around behind them, which looks like exactly what they're going to be doing.
Well, they are caught out. The Blizzard is going to be there, but they're going to be walking into a Blizzard and grab from Orthis. And it's already going in the favor of Orthis. All the picks necessary. Oh my goodness. Some great kills coming in from Opie on the Zarya and some assists as well.
I liked the idea. I didn't like the execution there. It was just kind of very telegraphed what it is you were going to do as soon as you saw them on the high ground, and you go to the right, okay, they're going to be dropping from this point, and then they just drop with no real game plan of what you're going to do. Rubery didn't even pop the window, which would have been pretty helpful if they had stayed up on the high ground and used window to pop in healing for your Reinhardt that was caught in the grab. But good thing is that Torbjorn didn't use that many of their ultimates, so they will be able to take advantage now. They're going to use Beat to engage, actually.
As Asp is very alone right now, but they still got they've got the support for him. They're going to be able to win this fight out. Oh my goodness! How does that happen? You had everything. You had the Reinhardt separated, but you still could not win that fight as Black Icy gets 3.
I mean, maybe it has something to do with the fact that, you use both of your support ultimates just to engage from that high ground onto the lower ground. I think you need to reevaluate that high ground strategy a little bit. You've tried it twice already. It hasn't worked out. No, looks like they're going to go for it again. They really want to make this strategy work, which, okay, they're going to be dropping from this window this time.
Yeah, well, they're going to go in here. The Shatter is out from Squirrel Bug, it seems, but not going to get any value from it. But oh my goodness, Baronite with a 3K high noon, and it's going to be enough for them to win this out with 2 more in their favor for Baronite. The team kill gong is sound.
Yeah, all right. So, I mean, another great wall from Mariner. I'll say it again. His walls have been amazing. Just have continued to catch Asif off guard, and then nice little popping of the Deadeye right there. But Orcus will be able to recontest here with Window as well.
Yeah, the Window is out as Asp is trying to make as much space as possible. The grab is going to be out from Opie, trying to get some damage done, but it's still going in favor of Torbjorn. They've got all the picks necessary. Rehash gets their counterpart out of this fight. The Deadeye going to be used for some reason as maybe a hero play, but it's not going to be enough as Orcus is going to have to give up the point. And Torbjorn has 1 minute and 50 to go to push it around the bend, but that might not be enough time.
Yeah, definitely might not. They got really caught up in Streets phase where they were making those long rotations onto the high ground. Early grab here might be able to do something here, but Mariner needs to let go of his Blizzard, but he doesn't.
Oh no, the Blizzard was used early from Black Icy, so that's going to be able for them to win that fight out just with point control alone, as they do get this late pick on to Deadly as well. It's down to 1 minute and 12 seconds left.
I think if you're going to use something such a powerful ultimate like a Graviton Surge, you want to combo it with something like a Blizzard or a Shatter, but neither of those ultimates were used in that fight, and now only 60 seconds remain.
The Shatters comes out from Asp. Not going to get anyone doing, but 2 ultimates in response from the side of Torbjorn. But a massive beat coming in from Tiki, but a bigger Shatter coming in from Squirrelbug, but they fall down. There's no follow-up to that 4-man Shatter. It's still going good for Orthis. They've got everything they need. The Psynude is coming out from Deadly Crafty Fox, and he gets 2 on his own. And it's down to 30 seconds left. Rudy, I don't know if Torbjorn can do it.
I don't know either. I mean, you had the perfect opportunity to make sure that Asif, he was so separated from the rest of his team because of that Blizzard, and he was so low as well, but unfortunately the focus fire just wasn't there for Torbjorn. And now another grab. Okay, the wall is going to protect them, but a window could ruin a couple of days.
A nice play coming in from the May of Mariner, going to take out Valkyrie. And they have this point control now. As Crafty Fox does get Squirrel Bug. Opie's still alive though. He's got a pick in his favor. Look for another pick from Opie, but they're so low. It's just Lucio, and he gets he falls off the map. The grab is going to be used by Rehash. The Black Icy's coming back. Got a pick on Deadly. That's massive. They don't have that Lucio any longer.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the Lucio now. It's a little bit of healing gone, but I mean, they could get back into the fight really quickly. But this Blizzard for Black Icy is going to be massive here. No Diva to eat it, which means that it's just free reign to use it.
Yeah, well, the High Noon's not going to get anyone, but it's a big Blizzard. It's going to get everyone on everyone from Toblerone in it as Black Icy gets 3, and that should be it. It's just Rehash on point. They're going to hold him to 57 meters on point 3.
All right, so you got first point pretty nicely, pretty easily. Only like 2 minutes burnt there. You burnt a lot of time in Streets phase, and you actually managed to get the point in overtime pretty close to the end here. So although you were working at a disadvantage most of the time, you're still pretty happy if you're Toblerone. It could have ended up a lot worse. You could have been held on Street for a long time. So they will have some things to work with on defense here, but Orthis seems pretty comfortable running this rush mirror, if I say so myself. Crafty and Black Icy, and also Valkyrie on the Baptiste, all putting in some work.
Yeah, and now we're
Looks like
heading in.
Look at they're gonna be coming out with an Ashe on defense here with no Mercy Pocket,
which is interesting. They're opting for a Lucio Ana support line as well. You've got to think Orthis has the upper hand right now with just the sheer amount of healing capabilities and damage capabilities from that the Baptiste.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting to see what Baronike does with the limited support that he has. On the other side, Orthis sticking with the tried and true Kree and May.
Really interesting.
And they will be going up to high ground, actually.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see. The Ashe was taking a low ground approach, maybe just to get some dynamite action into the opposition there. But oh my goodness, Ruberi was almost caught out there by Orthis's May with a nice left click. I think it's a left click. I'm not. But it's still, Orthis is going to be able to push this objective really easily, and they're going to take down Mariner already in this fight. Asp is super low, but a nice immortality field keeps them alive for a little bit longer, but it's at even trade 2 for 2 right now. They just need to take out Squirrel Bug, and they do. Black Icy yet again with some more kills in the feed as well, with Crafty Fox looking nice and tidy on this first point attack. And it's going to be a massive time bank going into Streets phase.
Nice little stagger from Tiki right there as he gets the kill onto Baronike. I mean, Mariner going down really early in that fight really hurts, but you gotta still be aware of the flank coming in from McCree as he walks through the house. He's able to put up so much damage and relatively uncontested. I feel like that's something that they might have been able to deal with a little bit better if they had I don't know, better communication or something of the sort, or better, you know, shot calling awareness.
Yeah, well, the wall is already out from Mariner yet again, almost getting Asp away from the rest of his team, but unfortunately a little bit too late, as they do have Black Icy's Blizzard online. It's going to be used here. Going to get a big Blizzard, and they're going to get the Reinhardt separated. Squirrel Bug is already down. The May is in the middle of the of Orthis, and it's still going to be another nice team fight win. They've got this cart is not stopped yet, Rudy.
Yeah, Black Icy is coming in with these great blizzards. I mean, it's pretty easy to get a really good blizzard if you have no diva to worry about eating it, but still, I mean, just the amount of people that they catch on a regular basis is pretty impressive. Look at Baronike just kind of chilling out here on the high ground. Hasn't been spotted out and will pop the Bob just as a point of contention.
Yeah, the beat is going to be used from Tiki to deal with a lot of the regroup coming in from the side of Toblerone, but Crafty Fox holding that high noon for as long as possible till the grab was popped, and they're going to be able to win this team fight out yet again on the back of some nice ultimates coming in from Orthis. They do use the nano boost onto Rehash there, and the grab. That might have been something you'd love to have saved for this next engagement.
Yeah, for sure. Might have been a, that's probably the second panic grab that was used by Rehash this match. Unfortunately, I mean, just desperate to make something work, but if your team doesn't follow up on the grab, there's not much value in it.
Yeah, the Shatter is going to be coming out. Not going to get anyone down, but the Wizards from Mariner is going to get this point locked down. 3 people frozen up, and it's going to be enough as they're going to be able to hold it down. They've still got a long way to go, Rudy. They are still over 4 minutes to go.
4 minutes to go, and just look how close it is to that choke point. You're only going to have one team fight available to even try to contest this, even with defender's spawn point advantage. Now Crafty is going to be trying to, I mean, Black Icy once again has this Blizzard that they've been so good at using. Look at how many people it's catching. Actually, no, they managed to kite it relatively easily.
Yeah, but it's not going to matter because it's going to split the team in half as Asp gets 2 in that fight. And this should be all they need as they're going to maybe get this team fight. They're going to get a team kill indeed. And it's going to be really difficult for anyone to touch from Toblerone as it's not going to happen at all. As Orthus, another dominant showing on this map. And we're going into match point now.
Yeah, Orthus still look very much in their comfort zone indeed. Although Toblerone did put up more of a fight here on King's Row. Obviously, they've been practicing the rush composition themselves, not too slouching on it. But unfortunately, Orthus is just, kind of ringing them through the wayside. That's a term that I just made up. I don't think it's ever been said in the history of humanity, but it's been said now. So mark it down, ladies and gentlemen. But we do got a little bit of a scorecard here. We got a little bit of a comparison between the two Mays. I was talking a lot about how Mariner was doing a lot of work with really good May walls, but unfortunately, it's just not enough when you're going up against the dominant force that is the Black Icy.
Yeah, that's a big discretion of what's been happening in this matchup so far. Only 2 deaths for Black Icy and 13 for Mariner. And then just almost more than double the amount of damage coming in from Black Icy. And I don't know how much more eliminations coming in. Black Icy has been a dominant force. A lot of people on the side of Orthus have been dominant. The DPS duo of Crafty and Black Icy have been dominant. The tank line's been dominant. And the support line's been dominant as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Tiki on that Lucio, you saw the little stats that we had up for them very shortly into before the match ended. I mean, they were putting on some great stuff. I mean, overall, I think this is what you would call a pretty comfortable team diff, although Toblerone is putting in still some work. Unfortunately, it's just not enough, and they're going to have to bring a lot more if they want for this match or for this series to continue past map 3.
Yeah, so we're going to have map 3 ready for you right after this short little intermission. Do not go anywhere. Map 3 is right after this.
Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the rookie division match of this evening. If you're in the EU land, we've got Orthus versus Toblerone, and it's really looking dominant for Orthus right now. It's a 2-0. And we're going to map 3, and we're going to the Midwest, or the Southwest.
The Southwest, yes. I mean, the fabled EU land was nice while we were over in London. Just, browsing the sites, seeing the Omnic compression, oppression, I should say. But next map is going to be Route 66, good old America.
America. Yes, indeed. And we're going to be taking a nice little drive down Route 66. And right now, it's not looking too good for the side of Toblerone. As much as I love their name, Orthus has just been on top of their game today. And going into Route 66, they need to change something. And I think the big thing I need from Toblerone is for them to run a diva.
Yeah, running some sort of diva composition maybe would help them if they continue to play this rush style, which they've seemed like they've wanted to play for the majority of this series. And I will say they've had some pretty okay showings, but it's just an overall team diff. I would say that I think that this team could perform a little bit better if the supports really stepped up. I know that I don't want to put blame on any one or two players here, but the supports for Toblerone are the lowest SR members of the team, and if for a team to succeed that has really strong tanks like Toblerone does, you definitely need the support coming in for them, for sure. But it looks like for defense, they're going to be going with a composition, a bunker composition that's going to allow for their DPS mainly to have the limelight here.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing from Orthus some dive. Some non-traditional dive because you have that wrecking ball instead of the Winston, but still dive nonetheless. And it'll be really interesting to see how well they do with this. We saw Crafty Fox put a lot of work in on that Tracer on map 1, so we're looking for the same productivity coming in on map 3.
For sure, and on this Route 66 first point, there's going to be a lot of places for the Tracer to get behind enemy lines, contest the high ground. I mean, you already see Asif here, rolling through on the ball, no worries.
Yeah, they're going to be looking for Black Icy as Asif gonna be already starting this fight off. I was about to say the Pharaoh was looking for that first pick, but no, it's gonna be Asif on the wrecking ball, getting a pick in their favor, and this is gonna help another pick with again with a wrecking ball, as they're gonna keep pushing this forward. A nice direct coming in from Black Icy, finishing off the Mercy, and this should be the beginning of the end of this first point hold of Toblerone here.
Yeah, I mean, they're all so low. There is so much pressure put on the Baptiste and Mercy very early on. I'm honestly surprised that Asif got that opening pick kill so easily. It almost just kind of felt like he rolled on in, saw the Ash just sitting there, and was like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Mind if I put a couple bullets in your head real quick?" Okay, I'm gonna do that then. And then he just did. And now look at this, Toblerone switching up their composition. They don't feel like the double shield is going to be working, so instead they're going to be going with a dive of their own, which means, once again, their ultimate charge is going to be reset.
Well, we did see Mariner already take out Crafty Fox before this fight even began, but the respawn was there very quickly. The minefield is going to be coming out from Asif, looking for some, just to split off the team, keep them from coming towards the point as long as they possibly can. And, well, it's still looking good. As a nice pulse bomb coming in onto Rubery, but Squirrelbug going to try to turn it back, getting Tiki out of this fight. And the Res Denied coming in from Black Icy for some nice directs onto Deadly. It's still looking good. Oh my goodness, very low, but it's not going to matter as the Valkyries pop, keeping them, the rest of Orthus, alive, as well as Black Icy, and they're going to keep this pushing forward very, very quickly.
Yeah, I know I said that the supports were needing to put in their weight as well, but I think both of your supports going down first in that fight means that there's really not a lot of support for them as well. Even your supports need support from time to time, so support your supports, god dang it. But no, unfortunately they're running a dive composition where that's a lot harder to do than if you were running something like a bunker or a double shield.
Yeah, they already go in here. Nothing really doing yet. The Bob was going to be used, but Baronite is going to get 2. Thanks to the Bob and some nice shots as well. The self-destruct using to probably just get remech'd here, as Torbjorn is going to be able to start this defense here now.
Yeah, finally. I mean, at the onset of a near cap for point 2, they finally make something work with some nice shots from Baronite. Mariner quietly putting in some work too on this Tracer. He's been contesting Crafty Fox for this entire map so far, so definitely give him some shout outs. And now you're gonna have double support ultimates as well to help your tanks get onto those squishy supports like Valkyrie on the Mercy, or even like Black Icy if you manage to de-suit him, or get him off of the ground, or get him off the sky.
Ooh, and a nice stick coming in from Crafty Fox from the top ropes on the Rubery. The self-destruct is there as well, and that is the beginning of the end of this point 2 defense yet again. Some nice engagements coming in from Fortis. Bode to another team fight win.
Yeah, I mean, Black Icy's comfortably sitting here up on top of everything. Doesn't even need to commit the barrage. Definitely some great heroics coming in from Crafty there. Tiki once again showing why they are on the Lucio rather than another like Ana or even Brig. It's just, their aggressive playstyle is perfectly complementing exactly what Orthis is trying to do here.
Well, they're going to push that objective as slowly as possible, but they're going to make so much space in the time being. As they're going to, oh my goodness, they're going to just use B here to engage it very quickly. The Bob coming out yet again from Baronite, but it's not going to matter as Squirrelbug is already down in this fight. They do get the DMAC, however, but it's not going to be enough. As a nice stick yet again from Crafty Fox. Gonna get Rubery out of this fight, and it's another team fight win, but not as bad from Torbjorn there.
Yeah, I mean, Tiki doing a great job of recognizing that Squirrelbug was under a lot of pressure, so they pop the beat in order to get a lot of value. Unfortunately, there's just too much pressure from Baronite's Bob on the point.
And Rubery's down again. Self-destruct coming out over the top. Not going to get anyone, however, but it's still going in favor of the side of Fortis. They've got all the picks necessary yet again. The res was there, but it might not be. It's not going to be enough in the end, as they do get Black Icy out of the sky. So this could be the beginning of a nice hold yet again. Baronite getting the DMAC to the Diva, and that should be the hold coming in for Torbjorn.
Yeah, you see how difficult it is for Black Icy on this Pharah to really get any value. I mean, they're playing in such a confined space. They don't have a lot of angles to work with. Perfect for Baronite to contest them with this Peacekeeper. They're just able to put in a lot of pressure, both on the Ashe and now on the McCree. And now look at this dive coming in on Squirrelbug. So much pressure onto him, but he manages to get away. Anti
is there, and it's going to be followed up by Crafty Fox into the back line. Another pick from Crafty Fox yet again. They're just so dominant, these DPS duo. Everything is just working in their favor. Black Icy did pop the barrage. They're getting 1. It's down to 1:20, but they have a very good hold on to this point right now.
It's just the aggression from Squirrelbug and Rehash. They're not on the same level, or on the same mental level as their supports, and that's really hurting them. But Valkyrie goes down here. Could be very good for Torbjorn.
It does, but Crafty Fox is gonna turn it back with a nice palm stick. Gonna get the kill onto. Come on, you gotta use your pistol. There you go. Crafty Fox finally gets the pick onto Squirrelbug. That's 4 in the fight for Crafty Fox, but it might not be enough as the respawns are coming back, and the res is gonna be there for Toblerone. There's only 43 seconds left as Crafty Fox falls. They're going to have to regroup now.
Crafty Fox trying to pull out some heroics there. However, like I said, Mariners got their number. Baronike and Mariner really stepping up to make sure that their team has a chance of holding on this third point. And now look at this. Orthis is switching to a rush composition of their own with a McCree and a May, with Valkyrie still on the Mercy just to take advantage of this Valkyrie ultimate.
Mariner was almost caught out there by Crafty Fox on the Cowboy. The D-Mech is on the OP. That's massive. They don't have that damage mitigation of the defensive matrix anymore. The self-destruct comes over the top. Not going to get anyone, but it's still looking good for Toblerone. They've got to pick onto OP, and they've got the picks necessary, but the ante onto Asp is going to be massive too. They've got everything they need to go. They just got to keep alive for as long as they possibly can, but a big shatter coming out from Asp, trying to keep it in the favor of Orthis. They want to capture all 3 points, and they're looking more and more likely they're going to after a very nice re-engage coming in from Orthis. They've got all the picks necessary. The Moira is back to stall. They're falling. Asp getting that pick. And it's now just the DS duo. Ryan trying to charge the point, getting chopped out. This self-destruct over the top, trying to keep it full away. The high noon being used, and that is going to be enough for Orthis to get all 3 points captured.
That was insane how long Orthis stayed in that fight, despite the fact that their Mercy had fallen. I mean, Valkyrie was able to switch over to the back. They only had Tiki healings for so long, but they managed to hold through with some really good tank play from Asif and Oppi to just stay alive throughout that entire fight. And now, unfortunately, Toblerone is going to have to finish this map with some time to spare if they want any chance of continuing this series. It's a big ask.
Ready for battle.
Definitely is. I mean, on defense here now, Orthis is going to be starting off with the Brawl composition once again. The tried and true. Nice little funky movement from Tiki here.
Yeah, and it's going to probably bode them well with this nice team play, because Toblerone is right now opting for a dive composition. The May is going to just be so beneficial from them diving in. They can wall off the rest of the team, and they won't be able to have any support with them. So it's going to be really key. Black Icy is going to need to be the key member of this composition for Orthis.
Yeah, for sure. Baronike maybe potentially looking to almost gets the headshot right there. Looks like they will be sticking onto the Widow for the time being, which is interesting with a dive composition. But hey, if you can make it work, I've got no complaints.
Yeah, they're still sticking on it, which is, like you said, really interesting to say. You'd think they'd swap to something like a Sombra, but oh my goodness, Squirrel Bug already getting caught out, and they do switch in the end to a Pharah here, but it's already starting off good for Orthis. They've got to pick onto the main tank, and you can't really push in without that Winston. As, oh my goodness, a nice dink onto Baronike by Crafty Fox, and the res denied as well.
Yeah, probably not the best time and place to use a res. Like Professor Oak says, there's a time and place for everything. That was just not it. So yeah, Toblerone in a very, Orthis in a very comfortable position here. Crafty Fox putting in so much work on this McCree. It's just going to be so hard for Baronike, I feel, to get any sort of value unless, you know, unless the rest of his team manages to find enough space to allow them to do some work.
Yeah, and it's not looking good. Crafty Fox already up to that Deadeye early on, as Squirrel Bug gonna get caught out yet again. No, they're gonna be able to get back to their team, get healed up, as Rubery having this Nano online, gonna be waiting for them to engage with that high noon. As Asif is gonna go super low down, but the Immortality Field is there to save them, and the Deadeye gonna be used. Pop just to get Baronike out of the sky. Mariner trying to harass in the backline, nothing doing, however. The res is there, but they paid for it with their life. It's still looking really good for Orthus.
I feel like there's just so much disconnect between the tanks and the supports on the side of Torbjorn. I think, you know, this might be a sign of just some mental boomage going on here. Alright, finally you have ultimates to work with. You have Nano, Monkey, Primal, Valkyrie on the side of Deadly, and also a Barrage. Unfortunately, you got double support ults on Orthus' side as well, and a Blizzard, so that they can try to stave off some of this aggression coming in.
Yeah, Banana Boost is going to be used early on, but it's not going to matter as the self-destruct is over the top, getting a pick onto Deadly, as they had the ultimates to push into it, but they couldn't pop them quick enough. And Orthus is just slamming the door on Torbjorn right now. There's only 1:14 to go.
You didn't even need to use Blizzard for that last fight, too. I mean, this is just... I'm not going to say this is the series end yet. I mean, miracles do happen, but it's looking pretty imminent so far. You're really going to be looking to get some massive value off of this Barrage, which does catch Crafty Fox.
It does catch Crafty Fox, and Mariner is going to be able to get Valkyrie as well, but a massive anti coming in from Rubery again. So they should be able to win this fight out. The self-destruct coming out, trying to catch a couple, and they're going to get OP in the D-Mech form. As Orthus is going to back off, they could still re-engage this now.
Alright, trying to get some of these members here, but once again, Squirrelbug is kind of caught in no man's land, has to back away. And now, I mean, EMP from Mariner could be massive here. This is the ultimate to end all ultimates. Oh,
it's going to
so
get
close.
6. It's going to get 6, and that should be enough for them to win this point out. They've got 1 in return, but it's not going to be enough for Orthus to turn it in their favor, as they do, in fact, end up getting the point control. They're going to have OP try to stall for as long as possible, but it's not going to matter in the end. They're going to be able to capture point 1.
That was so ballsy from Mariner, quite honestly. Just, you know, getting out of stealth in the middle of the enemy team with a McCree directly in front of them. You could have been so easily stunned out of your EMP, and the series just would have ended right there. Unfortunately for them, Crafty Fox didn't have his stun available, or just fell asleep at the wheel for a second or two.
Well, Crafty Fox already starting it off, and they're going to be using the res to keep Baronite in the fight, but it's not going to matter as the Shatter comes down from Asp, and it's going to be a team fight win for Orthus very quickly at these doors, and they might have been farther enough to get those doors to close, which would be massive.
Yeah, I don't think so. I can't get a point of view of it right now, but Orthus once again setting up on this high ground here. Yeah, the doors have not closed yet. You will have Nano Monkey here, or for Nano Primal, or something of this sort as well, and Baronite is very close to this Barrage, but Deadeye could easily cancel it out.
There goes the Nano Monkey into the backline, trying to get some work done, but they're going to be frozen up almost, but they use the Primal to get out. The Barrage is going to be there from Baronite, not going to get much doing as Crafty Fox uses that I get Squirrelbug out of this fight, but it's still going in favor of Torbjorn. They've got the picks in their favor as they use the self-destruct over the top. They do get Baronite, but it's not going to be enough as it's still going in favor of Torbjorn. The self-destruct coming in from them as well. Not going to get any picks from that, however. It's still looking good, but Mariner goes down. Rehash does get Tizzy, or Tiki, sorry. And it's still looking good for Torbjorn to win this fight out, but just as I say that, Orthus has the respawns back. It's now going to go in anyone's favor, whoever gets this next pick, but OP is down as Baronite does finally get that blow onto the baby D.Va, but the D-Mech D.Va is there again. But a blast! Oh my goodness! High noon gets 4, and that's going to do it. There's 20 seconds left. There's not much left. There is an EMP, Rudy.
There's an EMP. He probably was going to use that then if the Deadeye hadn't, you know, just ruined their days. That was a massive Deadeye just off of the back of absolutely nothing. EMP is going to find everybody here, and will they be a 6-man EMP too?
But
oh,
nobody
touches the point!
Oh no! As Orthus wins by a Charlie Niner. Oh no, a 6-man EMP coming in from Mariner at the 11th hour. But a Charlie Niner ends it all.
You know, I feel like somehow that was an appropriate way to end this series off. You really can't have it any other way. I mean, what can you really say about that series? I mean, a Deadeye to finish off the last fight from Crafty Fox, just absolutely decimating the enemy team. And then you end it off with a massive 6-man EMP. All of the members on the enemy team are so low, but unfortunately it's so close. Nobody realizes that it's time to touch the point. And Orthus takes the series with a very comfortable showing.
Yeah, they were really good. It wasn't just one player, even though we were highlighting Crafty Fox or Black Icy a lot. It was everyone. It was a team effort. Everyone was pulling their weight on that side of Orthus, and it really showed in their 3-0 today against Toblerone.
Yeah, for sure. Do want to give some props to Toblerone. I think they had some nice plays. I really liked Mariner. I think he was doing a great job of being like sort of the, backup DPS that's just quietly working on the Tracer and the Sombra in the background. And his Mei, even though he didn't have the best stats, the mindset was there. The 5-head walls that he was pulling off were pretty well, but unfortunately wasn't enough to salvage this series. 3-0 Orthus. GG's.
Yeah, we do. Before we end off the stream, we have the Diva stats from that round. If we want to show that right now, and look at that, it's very similar, but Opie having so much more eliminations and final blows.
I think that's just the result of the work that the rest of Opie's team is putting in. It just allows him to get a lot more. I mean, he's putting in similar work, but the rest of his team is putting in much more work in comparison to, the rest of Rehash's team, who's not able to get as much value out of, very similar performances. But yeah, definitely Rehash was doing a great job as well. Both of these off tanks doing a really good job. Orthus was just the better team at the end of the day.
Yeah. In the end, the team...
It didn't even matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter. As Orthus, his teamwork reigns supreme. And that's going to do it for us right now for GGEU. Thank you all for watching. GGNA is in a couple hours. I will be back with you. I'm going to go rest my voice. Thank you, Rudy. Thank you for the production team. Peace out. See you later.